A pleasant good evening, everyone, from Clipper Magazine Stadium. The Lancaster Barnstormers and Long Island Ducks have avoided the weather for the most part today. We seem to be in really good shape, and the crowd is filing in as we go for Game 3 of this four-game series. The Barnstormers and Ducks have each won one, and largely that's been attributable to a very good starting effort for each ball club. Brooks Hall gave the Barnstormers a start they very much needed here on Thursday night. And last night, the Barnstormers ran into the hottest pitcher in the Atlantic League in left-hander Bennett Perry, who struck out 11 in 6 innings. The Barnstormers still made a game out of it, falling just one run short, 5-4, the final score here last night. Tonight, Jonathan Albaladejo will make the start for the Barnstormers, his second straight start against the Long Island Ducks. He was not a factor in the decision last Sunday, matching up against Perry. The Barnstormers would eventually win 4-3. Albie had one bad inning in that start, but he's given the Barnstormers a quality start, 5 out of his last 6 outings. He'll match up against another tough left-hander for Long Island, Jake Fisher. Will be on the hill for the Ducks tonight. Albaladejo is 5-2, and Fisher is 3-1 at the outset of play here tonight. The Barnstormers remain a game and a half ahead of the Sugarland Skeeters in the Freedom Division race, and it's now just a question of what's going to happen down in Texas over the next 7 days. The Barnstormers can win 3 of those, get a little bit more help from York. All they have to do is win 3 of these 6 other games. Long Island and the Road Warriors, once we come back from the Texas trip, it's pretty much all about that trip to the Houston area coming up this week. But still, these games do matter. They are important. Meanwhile, Long Island is within 2.5 of Somerset. Somerset does have the tiebreaker. The Ducks are in need of some wins. Well, it is the weekend. We've got a game on BRC 11 tomorrow, so I talked to Ross Peoples today, get his update on where he feels this ball club is right now, and I'll be back with Ross in just a moment right here on the Lancaster Barnstormers YouTube channel.
Like craft beers, local wines? Well, the best place to be in Lancaster then is Clipper Magazine Stadium. That's right, all new for 2018 is the Broken Bat deck down the right field line. The Broken Bat will feature more than 20 local craft breweries and product from 2 local wineries. If something with a little more kick is your adult beverage of choice, a local distillery is part of the Broken Bat as well. Food will be sold off a pub-style menu, so get together, hang out with your friends, make some new ones, and enjoy a night of craft beer sampling along with the Barnstormers game.
Hi everyone, Adam Gochnauer here for Gochnauer Appliances in East Petersburg. We are as excited as you that it's baseball season, and we are thrilled to once again be partnering with your Lancaster Barnstormers. We are also excited this season to introduce some awesome new appliance colors on display now. Come and see the new colors of slate, black stainless, and black slate. These colors will give your kitchen a great look, and of course all of them are at the best prices around now at Gochnauer's. I'll be back after the break to tell you about our special Barnstormers summer promotions.
Welcome back to tonight's edition of the Gochnauer Home Appliances Dugout Report. It's our weekly check-in with manager Ross Peoples. And Ross, this has been a week where we have seen some great starting pitching, sometimes for us, sometimes against us. Last night, Bennett Perry's the hottest pitcher in the league. What makes him so special?
Well, I think, for one, he mixes his pitches well. But I think, 2, probably the biggest thing I see is he comes so downhill, it's kind of tough to square up. He actually reminds me a lot of Scott Patterson, but from the left side. He's 6'6", but he comes over the top and it's downhill, and it's tough to square up for the hitters. So I personally think like that's tough to. That's probably what makes him so effective.
We got the big start the night before out of Brooks Hall, and that was really important to settle things down a little bit. Gave up 2 solo home runs. Those happen here, but other than that, a stellar performance.
Yeah, great. You're talking about Joey. Joey did Brooks. Oh no, yeah, Brooks was great. He had 7 innings, 6 innings, and a couple runs. He's definitely one that we needed. Especially when we were struggling with being going to the pen a little bit too early sometimes, but having that quality start from Brooks And actually, I didn't think Joe pitched that bad last night. You know, a couple of plays that should have been made. You know, it could be a different ball game, but we definitely gonna have to rely on our pitching these last 10 or 12 games of the season. I mean, of the first half.
You know, this has developed into quite a race. The Barnstormers are still ahead, kind of in the driver's seat, not totally in the driver's seat, not where we were a week and a half ago, but you've got to be optimistic. It's all going to come down to that series in Texas.
Yeah, absolutely. Probably definitely going to come down to the series in Texas. We play them 7 games right there, so it definitely could make or break us. You know, we hope we can go in there and have a good series. And anytime when you play somebody that many games in a row can be tough. You know, you got to go have a couple starters, seeing them twice in a row. But, you know, we just got to go out there and compete, control what we can control, and, you know, play some good fundamental baseball. And I think if we do that, we're going to have a good shot at it.
Yeah, look at the weather forecast for the upcoming week. It's not supposed to be terribly oppressive down there. It's going to be Houston weather, Houston humidity, but not the 98s and 99s you can sometimes get down there. It's supposed to be 91 or 92, so a little bit of a break.
Yeah, it's always hot down there, and that's one thing when we go down there we have to kind of monitor a little bit just because we're not used to it as much as they are. But, you know, you have to watch the pitchers a little bit. Sometimes it might wear on them a little bit earlier than normal just because of the humidity. But, you know, some people like it better. You know, some people like playing in that hot weather. And, you know, I think for most part, we enjoy it because it's, you know, when you start sweating, you get a lot looser, and you feel a lot better. You know, so the thing is that how long is that going to last? You know, is it going to wear on us? A lot of times it affects us mentally, and that's one thing we've been talking about lately here in the locker room is, you know, staying present and staying focused and being there mentally. Not just for 3 innings or 5 innings, but for 9 solid innings, 27 outs.
Blake Galen on a streak right now. I mean, we've seen Blake get hot before. We've seen him come through before, but right now is maybe the best stretch he's ever been on offensively in a Barnstormers uniform. He's really carried this ball club.
Yeah, he has. He's turning it around last, weekish. You know, he was struggling there a little bit and was fighting himself a little bit and was pressing a little bit. But, you know, Blake's Blake. One good thing about him is he stays with his approach no matter what's going on. He understands the game, and, you know, him just having that consistent approach. You knew he was going to break out of it. It's just a matter of when. You could start seeing him hit the ball a little bit harder, you know, even on some of his outs. And then, you know, all it takes is one home run, and you get that confidence and that swagger back, and sometimes that's all it takes to get back going.
Where do you see Casey and Nate Coronado right now? You know, they were struggling for a while when they got here. They've had some big hits. Where do you think their game is at the moment?
Well, I think both of them still, you know, trying to get, you know, back used to live pitching, getting some bats. You know, they didn't get very many bats where they were. But, you know, I think, what was it, a couple of days ago, I think you could start to see Casey's old swing back. You know, he was pressing a little bit, thinking too much, and, you know, we tried to tell him just go out there and have fun. It's going to come. You know, it's going to come for him. He's too good of a hitter not to come. He's had too much success here. But, you know, I think a couple of days ago, you know, it was actually on a foul ball. I even told him, I said, I think that's the first thing I thought after that swing was that's the old KC swing. So, you know, I think he'll turn it around here soon. Coronado's kind of came in here with a little bit out of shape and a little bit of loopy swing. JB's been working on him a little bit of trying to get back a little bit more in the middle of the field, which is where he's good at, middle to right center. So we could try to get him more in that phase and more of a downhill swing instead of an uphill swing so much, getting more involved with his hands and not his body. I think he's going to come around too. He is squaring some balls up. He's just a little late on it. And, you know, again, not having that many bats where he was, where he was at, that timing could be a little bit off too. So probably for both of them, once they get that timing, hopefully they'll start coming back around.
This roster has been very static since the start of the season, abnormally so for the Atlantic League. Very, very few moves. You have to be anticipating at some point that we're going to get some contracts purchased. It's bound to happen. We've only had Joey Terdoslavich at this point in time. Are there guys out there right now, if need be? This is usually the time of year where players start to be scarce.
Yeah, there is. We got a little list that we kind of look at some transactions and all. I think it's going to happen. I don't know when. Little surprise. Not as many has left yet, but we'll. I guess you could say we'll cross that bridge when it happens to see what might best fit for us and what we might go after at that time. But we'll cross it when it happens.
Yeah, we're coming into the week where it all developed last year.
Say, what's that?
We're coming into the week where it all developed last year.
Yeah, I know. I told JB the other day, I said, I have a feeling that someone's going to get taken in Sugar Land. It always seems to happen, something like that when we there, or when we on the road or something, and us being there for so long. I just have a feeling that might happen. But so we'll see. We'll go from there. Hopefully it does.
Well, Ross, thanks for taking time out tonight. Good luck in this one. We've at least got to stay the status quo and go to Texas up a game and a half. Hopefully we can pick up a game or so.
I hope so. We're just going to try to continue playing, good competitive baseball and go out there and be a competitor and, do what we can do. Hopefully we score one more run than they do.
Ross Peoples joining me tonight on the Gockenauer Home Appliances Dugout Report. Starting lineups come your way next right here on the Lancaster Barnstormers YouTube channel.
Adam Gockenauer back with you again to tell you that we are back this season with Weber Gas Grills. We have the best selection and prices in the area on Weber, and if you mention this ad, you will receive 10% off all in-stock Weber accessories. Don't forget, we also fill your propane tanks here at the store. Don't waste money on exchanges when you can have us fill your tank and save you money. We are your appliance and gas grill headquarters. Come see us today on Main Street in East Petersburg or on the web at Gockenauers.com.
I'm a chef. Pleasing my patrons' palates is paradise. But lately, when I hear a cheer from the dining room, it's Keno from the Pennsylvania Lottery. Sure, it could be my veggie lasagna, but chances are it's customers picking numbers to win cash with drawings every 4 minutes. Keno's fun, exciting, and you can enjoy it as an appetizer or a main course. Hey, everything tastes better with winning. Keno, it's here. Played at your favorite bar or restaurant.
Players must be 18 or older. Please play responsibly. Benefits older Pennsylvanians every day.
Along with Andrew Mossbrooks, Dave Collins with you from Clipper Magazine Stadium. The Lancaster Barnstormers entertaining the Long Island Ducks. It is the third out of a 4-game series. Here's how the lineups look for the Ducks this evening. Jordani Valdespin leading off at second base. The center fielder batting number 2 is Emilio Bonifacio. Travis Snyder is in right field. He is batting third. The cleanup hitter is the DH Lou Ford. At first base batting 5th is David Washington. Ramon Cabrera is batting 6th and catching. Cody Puckett will bat 7th. He has third base. Anthony Vegas, the left fielder, hitting 8th. Dan Lyons, shortstop, is batting 9th. And it will be left-hander Jake Fisher on the mound, 3-1 with a 3.34 ERA. For the Barnstormers, Darian Sanford leading off in center. Blake Galen is in right field. He is batting second. The DH hitting third, Ryan Castile. Casey Hobson, the cleanup hitter and first baseman. Trayvon Robinson is batting 5th. He is in left. The third baseman batting 6th is Nate Coronado. The shortstop in the number 7 slot, Vladimir Frias. Anderson Del Rosa takes his turn behind the plate. He bats 8th. And Tyler Bortnick is the second baseman in the number 9 slot. Jonathan Albaladejo makes the start tonight for the Barnstormers. He is 5-2 with a 4.30 ERA. He's won 5 out of his last 6 decisions. The Barnstormers have won 6 out of the last 7 times Albaladejo has taken the mound. Lights are on under overcast skies. No immediate threat of rain. And we'll have play-by-play baseball coming your way next on the Lancaster Barnstormers YouTube channel.
Celebrate the history of our national pastime at the National Baseball Hall of Fame and Museum in Cooperstown. See priceless treasures that will bring your baseball memories to life. Find stories that will inspire and surprise. Cooperstown is where you, your family, and your friends can relive baseball's greatest moments in honor of the all-time greats of the game. See all that the Hall of Fame and Museum has to offer and plan your family visit today at baseballhall.org.
The Long Island Ducks taking on the Lancaster Barnstormers, a game with playoff ramifications. We'll send you down to the field at the moment for tonight's opening ceremonies.
Please remain standing, remove your hats. Veterans are invited to salute the flag as we honor the United States of America and our nation's flag. Here to perform the national anthem, please welcome Angel Shank.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight for the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the Rockies' red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, save us that star-spangled banner yet wave, o'er the land of the free and the hope of the brave.
Angel Shank.
It's turned into a pretty nice night for baseball here at Clipper Magazine Stadium.
Certainly
the
has.
skies are beginning to part. There's really no immediate threat of rain in our area. The Barnstormers taking on the Long Island Ducks in the third game of a four-game series. And I know that this game was at least close to a sellout. Not quite there. We do have tickets available at the door, but not all that many people are here as you would expect. I hope that it fills in later on, just based on the number of tickets, the pre-sale that we had here today. And I think a lot of people are still getting scared off by the weather.
Right.
And that's unfortunate. And, you texted me earlier today.
I did.
Joey texted me earlier today. Is the game still on tonight? What time did you ask me that?
Maybe 1 o'clock?
It was about 1 o'clock this afternoon.
Something like that, yeah.
Barring an all-day tropical storm coming through at this time of year.
Barring Katrina.
Yeah, we're not calling a game off at 1 o'clock in the afternoon. We're going to play these games right now, if at all humanly possible, and we really haven't had much rain in our area here today. So
Yeah, well, here's my thing, and you know this. I have
you've got a long drive.
2-hour commute, but for fans that are 10 minutes away, nothing to worry about. And as you see now, I mean, this weather is better than last night, which had some forecast worries. We have just had some problems with the weekends and weather forecasts.
It's been more the weather that's been forecast on the weekend than it's been the reality.
I was about to say,
the
weather that's
on
happened
the weekends. So people are still filtering into seats here. I'd love to see this seating bowl completely full by the time we get done here tonight. If you're in the neighborhood, we do have room for you. Come on by.
Farm Show weekend.
We got bunny rabbits out there.
Yeah.
Who can resist bunny rabbits?
Yeah.
We have bunny rabbits.
We've got fireworks. This is a triple header today.
And bunny rabbits.
Yeah.
Baseball bunnies and boom booms.
What's the name of that dog that catches the frisbee?
Percy, the frisbee catching dog. We had him too. Here's Jordani Valdespin, the second baseman, leading off. Jonathan Albaladejo into the motion. His first pitch is a called strike, according to Bill Worthington. It is 0-1.
Dave, Jonathan Albaladejo saw this team quite a bit in his time with the Bridgeport Bluefish.
Albaladejo is a known entity around the Atlantic League, and it's known that he can win ball games. He has 27 in right around 2 full seasons here in the Atlantic League. That is ripped up the middle. The 0-1 pitch taken into center by Valdespin. Leadoff man is aboard for the Long Island Ducks. We've got 2 pitchers on the mound tonight who throw strikes. Jonathan Albaladejo has given up 54 hits, but only 8 walks in 44 innings. Jake Fisher has given up 70 hits and 7 walks in 56 2/3 innings. We're likely to see an active ball game. Emilio Bonifacio, the center fielder, will step to the plate now, batting .296 with 1 home run. He hit his first of the year here last night off Joe Gardner. Just lobbed one off the front of the Haller tent down the right field line. But that's good enough in this ballpark. Runner on. Valdespin has stolen 12. He's been caught 3 times. Anderson De La Rosa in behind the plate for the Barnstormers tonight. Casey Hobson at first holding the runner. Albaladejo works out of the set. Valdespin stays put, and a ball just misses outside, 1-0. Nate Coronado at third. Vladimir Frias at short. Tyler Bortnick at second. Around the infield for the Barnstormers this evening. Trayvon Robinson, Darian Sanford, Blake Galen, the outfield from left to right. 6'5" Jonathan Albaladejo. Into his motion, the 1-0 pitch is outside. Ball 2 on Bonifacio. Travis Snyder, the right fielder, waits on deck. We talked about the need for the quality starting pitching. Albaladejo has done it. He leads the club in quality starts with 5. He'll generally keep you in ball games. 2 balls and no strikes to Bonifacio. Instead, a lob toss over to first. Valdespin back in, standing up.
And something he'll need to do, we want a different start than what we had yesterday when, before you blinked, the Ducks had a 3-0 lead in the first inning.
Infield set up, double play depth. Albaladejo would love to get the ground ball out of Bonifacio. Coronado sneaking up onto the grass over at third. Here's the 2-0 pitch. Swinging, it's a ground ball, all right, but it's through into right field. And this can happen to Albaladejo. We've talked about how this happens a lot to Tommy Shirley. Well, Albaladejo can fall victim to strings of singles. And right now the Ducks have something brewing here in the first inning. 2 ground ball base hits, one up the middle, the other through the right side. First and second, nobody out. And you get a big bopper coming to the plate in Travis Snyder, a .266 hitter with 7 home runs on the year. That ball's probably fielded by Hobson if the bases are empty, but he had to hold the runner, and the ball found the hole open on the right side. Oh, a chance for the Ducks to score big in the opening inning once again. Albaladejo trying to shut this down.
Snyder was 0 for 3 last night with a walk.
He had a home run off of Brooks Hall in the first game of the series. Albaladejo comes set to Snyder, a strike at the knees. It's 0-1. Jonathan Albaladejo, who's been to the major leagues with Washington, the Yankees, and Arizona, facing Travis Snyder, who's been there with some different ball clubs. First and second, nobody out. Albaladejo is inside and low, and he hits Snyder. That will load the bases. That breaking ball got away from him.
And Albaladejo going to go right over to Snyder, and I just think, let him know he did not mean to do that. That looked like a painful one.
Dottie Pitchford, the Long Island trainer, sprinting out of the third base dugout to tend to Snyder. Now the bases are loaded with nobody out.
Yep, Snyder took down his right leg, the front leg. I mean, that one just hit him hard. A little low on the knee side. He's still favoring it, Dave. He isn't even at first base yet.
Kevin Baez, the manager, out to look at his right fielder, who's hunched over. And it didn't necessarily look like that was a blazing fastball from Albaladejo. It just ran in. But if you get hit on the wrong spot,
right,
say on the shin bone or the instep,
exactly,
it's really going to hurt, no matter what the pitch is.
I'm wondering if they're going to keep him in. I mean, he just seems like he keeps looking at it. He keeps hunching himself over. That's not the trainer telling him to do it. Snyder is in some pain here.
Lou Ford will bat with the bases loaded and nobody out. Ford batting .265 with 4 home runs, 32 runs batted in. Snyder trying to walk it off down the right field line, still moving slowly.
Yeah. And a delay in the game, which you don't want to see anybody get hit with a baseball, but at the same time, Dave, maybe an opportunity for Albaladejo to reset here and start thinking over these pitches a little bit. That one just slips out of the hand. Looks like they're going to keep Snyder in at first for now, but as he's okay, we get back to the reality of the situation. A bases loaded, no out jam right to kick this game off, much like yesterday. Not exactly the same, but again, the Ducks threatening here.
Last night, the first 6 Long Island batters reached base.
Right.
Leadoff man on an error, and he was thrown out stealing, so 5 in a row after that. That's where the 3 runs were created. And now the bases loaded, nobody out, and Albaladejo has to keep the Ducks from putting together another big opening inning. And it's troubling when these games piggyback on each other. Albaladejo working out of the full windup, he should anyway. The motion and a Ford right there for a called strike at his 0-1.
And how about that? Of all people for him to face, Lou Ford.
The Barnstormers' nemesis over all these years. Just 1 for 4 in last night's game. .364 against the Barnstormers for the year. 0-1 pitch, in on the hands, foul to the screen. And quickly it is 0-2 at the big bopper, David Washington, waiting in the on-deck circle.
Yeah, this lineup just, you really look down if you want to use a word on each guy. What does it come up? Power, speed, power, power, power. These guys can just hit. Washington, the team leader with home runs on 8. Don't want to bring him up, but the reality is, unless something marvelous happens here, you're going to have to see him.
No balls, 2 strikes, the count to Ford. Albaladejo ready to go. Wines brings it home and misses a little too close. It is ball 1 and 2 strikes.
This is where you'd like to see Albaladejo get away with a couple of things that Bennett Perry was doing yesterday, and that's throwing pitches that are outside the strike zone, but guys are swinging over them.
De La Rosa running through the signals. It is a ball and 2 strikes on Ford. Albaladejo into the motion and the pitch. Hit high in the air down the left field side, curling toward foul ground and out of play up onto the hill. Trayvon Robinson giving up on that. Ford will continue to bat at 1 ball and 2 strikes. Albaladejo giving up 2 ground ball base hits and then hitting a batter to load the bases. Yeah. He's not getting knocked around terribly, but he is in a bad situation here in the top half of the first inning. Albaladejo had 1 bad inning the last time out. It happened to be the 3rd. He gave up 3 runs there and nothing else to the Ducks over his 6 innings of work. 1 and 2. And to Ford. He got him a swing and a miss. That is a huge out. 34th strikeout for Albaladejo this year. Now David Washington, the first baseman, will check in. Washington, a .255 hitter with 8 homers and 27 runs batted in. Now, I've always been a believer that if you load the bases in the first inning and don't score, you're in trouble in that ball game. So we'll see if Albaladejo can put a stop to this here and not allow the Ducks on the scoreboard. The strikeout of Ford is huge. Washington steps in. He's one of those high-risk, high-reward players. We've seen him get some base hits lately. He has hit 1 home run against the Barnstormers. That was off Joe Gardner a week ago tonight. Albaladejo ready to go. The pitch to Washington is over but low. Ball 1, no strikes.
I agree with you as far as bases loaded, no outs, and not able to get anything out of that because it can be so demoralizing. That happens to teams, and as you mentioned, you could be in trouble, especially if the Barnstormers turn around and get even a run in the bottom half.
1 ball, no strikes. Washington awaits the pitch, and that is swung on. Nicked out ahead of the plate. De La Rosa will step on home, get a force out. He didn't have the opportunity to fire down to first and double up Washington. The out goes 2 unassisted on Valdespin. So that's 2 outs. And now Albaladejo has to get through Ramon Cabrera to escape this inning and keep the Ducks off the scoreboard.
Yeah,
Great job so far.
Absolutely.
If that ball had stayed a foot closer to home plate, De La Rosa would have had a chance at a double play, but he had to chase it down far enough out ahead of the plate that by the time he retreated to get the force out on Valdespin, Washington's a pretty fast guy. He had no place to throw there. Cabrera, switch hitter, batting .243 with 8 runs batted in. Albaladejo has retired 2 now. And a Cabrera, high fly ball out the left. The unflappable Jonathan Albaladejo appears to have gotten it done. He has. Robinson with the catch. What a great job by Albie getting out of this first inning. No runs, 2 hits, no errors. The Ducks leave 3 at the end of a half. Long Island nothing. Lancaster coming up.
You're totally probably safe to ride on your spare for what, 6, maybe 9 months?
Don't trust the wrong advice. Get the right tires at the right price right away. It's what we've been doing at Jack Williams Tire right here in Pennsylvania since our family started this business back in 1929. Because doing things the right way is just the Williams way. Get the right tires right now at jackwilliams.com.
Lancaster Bible College has been around since 1933, but did you know that they offer degrees in much more than just Bible? LBC offers degrees in criminal justice, business, professional counseling, and more, as well as graduate and seminary degrees in areas like Christian care, chaplaincy, education, and leadership studies. To learn more about LBC and the programs they offer, visit lbc.edu. That's lbc.edu.
Jonathan Albaladejo proves to be one cool, calm, and collected customer, getting out of a bases-loaded, nobody-out jam in the top half of the first inning without allowing a run on the board. He struck out Lou Ford, got Washington on a force out at the plate, and then Ramon Cabrera going after the first pitch, flies out the left to end it. And now the Barnstormers will try to turn around and jump on left-hander Jake Fisher. Fisher, 3-1 with a 3.34 ERA. He's averaged nearly 6 1/3 innings per start, 56 2/3 innings, 70 hits allowed. He has walked 7, and he has struck out 49. He has allowed 70 hits and 21 earned runs. Darian Sandford, Blake Galen, and Ryan Castile, the scheduled hitters for the Barnstormers against Jake Fisher.
Yeah, what makes Fisher so deadly as well is his time away from Bethpage Ballpark. So on the road, even more lethal opponents going against him. It's a that one goes foul, but a 1.42 ERA on the road for Fisher.
Wrapped foul on the ground by Sandford. It is 0-1. The Barnstormers reached Fisher for 10 hits and 5 runs in 6 1/3 innings, but failed to beat him. Long Island rallied to win the game back on June 6th. On the outside corner to Sandford, it's very quickly 0-2. Darian ejected from the ball game last night. Reinstated here this evening. 277 hitter with no home runs, 18 knocked in. Into the dirt for a ball. It is 1-2. Blake Galen and Ryan Castile will follow.
And how funny is it now, Dave, that everybody who is worried about rain needs to make sure they brought sunglasses to the ballpark.
Crowd does continue to fill in here. Ball 1 and 2 strikes. To Sandford, foul back. and he'll stick around at 1-2.
Now, in a case where Sandford got ejected from the game last night, is that something a manager talks to a player about, or do you just kind of let it blow over?
I think Ross probably said something to him because the Barnstormers are not at full strength right now, and he got strapped for moves later on in the game because of that, and it softened up, I would say, the defense a little bit. You had Casey Hobson, not a natural outfielder, into the outfield. You lost your speedy center fielder. You probably ended up losing a little bit of speed at all three outfield positions. Here comes the 2-2. Sandford with a swing and a miss. He is gone on strikes, and we pick up where we left off. There are some changes for the Ducks. Taylor Ard has gone into play first base. David Washington is out into right field. So Ard. Ard's at first base, batting third. Washington out into right field. Here's Blake Galen batting with one out, nobody on. Hottest hitter we're aware of. Pitch to him, line drive into left center field, just getting over Dan Lyons, and a base hit. Galen with a 13-game hitting streak. He goes the other way successfully with one out here in the first inning. Ryan Castile, the designated hitter, will come to the plate. Galen just doesn't slow down for anybody or anything. Even last night, he was pretty much handled well by Bennett Perry the first two times up, then an RBI double and a two-run homer. One out, one on here. Castile to the plate, 318 with 7 homers and 28 runs banded in. Defense will play Ryan straight away. It is Puckett at third, Lyons at short, Valdespin at second, and Ard now at first base, and the pitch is up for a ball, 1-0. Vegas in left, Bonifacio in center, and Washington in right. Travis Snyder hit by a pitch in the first inning and not able to take his position defensively. That ball banged foul by Castile over to the third base dugout. 1 strike. We spoke too soon when we thought we wouldn't have to battle the sun here this evening.
Yeah.
It has come through the clouds. It is warm and muggy, but not unbearably so.
Oh, definitely not unbearably so. Maybe it's just me. I would take this over a high 80s day any day of the week.
You know where all the rain went? My backyard.
Yes.
Down in Virginia.
We were talking about this earlier today.
My wife sent me photos. 1 strike, and another toss to keep Galen honest. Barnstormers escaped a huge jam in the top of the inning. They're trying to build one of their own in the bottom half. Galen on base with one out to Castile, a ball and a strike. That is ripped to short. Lyons handles, spins, gets the force at second, the throw back to first. Doubles up Castile. Ryan hit that ball on the nose. Dan Lyons, a quick step to his left, handled the bounce from there. It was elementary. No runs, 1 hit, no errors. Nobody left on at the end of an inning. There is no score.
Localflavor.com, local flavor, localflavor.com, local flavor.
Excuse me, are you saying localflavor.com?
Oh, yeah, it's where I save big bucks on all kinds of things. Home improvement projects, dining out, family fun, electronics, jewelry, clothing. I even bought my wife a fancy spa package for half price.
Half price?
Yep, you know all the deals you find in Clipper Magazine.
I love Clipper Magazine.
Well, they're all on localflavor.com too. And you can get them right on your phone thanks to localflavor.com's mobile app. Here, take a look.
Well, this app is amazing. Look at all these restaurants, amusement parks, car washes, fitness centers. This is worth sharing about.
Exactly. Localflavor.com online, the Local Flavor mobile app, and Clipper Magazine together. It's like a triple play.
Do the cheer again. I'm in.
Localflavor.com, local flavor. Come on, everybody! Localflavor.com, local flavor. Localflavor.com, local flavor.
Cody Puckett scheduled to lead off the second inning for the Long Island Ducks. The third baseman is batting .244. with a home run and 12 runs batted in. He'll be followed by Anthony Vega and Dan Lyons, the bottom trio for the Ducks. For the Barnstormers, Hobson, Robinson, and Coronado in their half of the second inning. No score. Albaladejo got out of a much larger jam than did Jake Fisher. Fisher gave up the one base hit, quickly got a double play. Now to Puckett toward the outside corner. A strike called. It's 0-1.
I think what was impressive for Albaladejo, aside from just getting out of that jam, is that he only threw 15 pitches in the first. So he was fairly economical in that category.
Swung on and missed. The second strike in on Puckett. It is 0-2. Very often you let an experienced starting pitcher get off a hook like that in the first inning. They can really batten down and become tough.
Quick to make adjustments to some of the mistakes they may have committed.
0-2. And Puckett lines at the third. Sprawling backhanded catch by Coronado. He had to react to that in a hurry. Put a star by that one in the scorebook. One out here in the second. Anthony Vega will come to the plate. The benefit of throwing strikes, as Albaladejo and Fisher both do, is that the defense is just a step quicker behind them.
There's been
We've
some
seen
holes.
it already.
Yeah, there's been some holes that guys have found their ways through last night, but equally good plays. Right there being one from Coronado. Tyler Bortnick made one last night. Vladimir Frias.
Here's Anthony Vega, who hit his first home run of the season 2 nights ago. Albaladejo delivers. That is cut on and missed for strike one. That was a nice piece of two-strike hitting by Puckett, and Albaladejo would probably not want to have made that pitch, but Coronado saved him with a good reaction over at third. A ball is inside to Vega, 1-1.
And I was just sitting there thinking, like, oh, well, that's not Coronado. Maybe that doesn't happen. But I've seen Carlos Garcia and Tyler Bortnick at third make great plays this season, too.
Vega lifts this one down the left field line, charging over Robinson into foul ground. Trayvon is there, 2 outs. Dan Lyons, the shortstop, the step in.
And in these two plate approaches by both Puckett and Vega, it almost looks like impatience, which is weird to say in the second inning, but we talk about bases loaded, no outs, and you get nothing for it. You almost feel like maybe you have to make up for that right away.
Well, Albaladejo's a strike thrower, and everybody knows it. He's going to be around the plate most of his pitches. Same thing true with Jake Fisher. So you might be more inclined to swing early.
Right.
And not try to wait for your perfect pitch. There's a first offering strike. It is 0-1 because it may never come. You try to wait through Albaladejo, you're going to probably be down 0-2.
Yeah.
So if you get one that you like first pitch, you go for it. Lyons hasn't, and he's taken 2 strikes. It is 0-2. No score, top half of the second inning. Here's the wind and the 2-strike pitch, fouled back. The net's not in the way. That one is in my mitts.
I was just about to say. That one breaks one of the computers here. Last night's attendance, 5,027 here at Clipper Magazine Stadium. You mentioned more filling in as we go.
We're gonna beat that tonight. We've got a shot at our season high. Bouncer off the paw of Albaladejo, charging the play Frias. He'll make the throw. It'll be late. Lions aboard on an infield base hit. And got to be concerned about Albaladejo, who has very, very abnormally large hands. And
seems okay.
Yeah, he seems unfazed by that. We've seen him make a stop like that before this year. Now it's back to the top of the order. Jordani Valdespin stands in. He singled up the middle back in the first inning. Albaladejo now has given up 3 hits, all singles, all on the ground. He probably regrets that he didn't let that one go.
Probably. It would have got to Frias and been thrown over. Tried to barehand it, though. Literally size of a bear's hand.
To the plate, and a strike on Valdespin, 0-1. The only hitter that Albaladejo really has fallen behind was Bonifacio back in the first inning before he gave up the ground single into right. Otherwise, he's been ahead.
Yeah.
2-strike base hit for Lions. Now to Valdespin. He gets forced back off the plate. 1 ball, 1 strike.
And you mentioned getting ahead. That was the 27th pitch of this game. 7 balls, 20 strikes. So Albaladejo, as you mentioned, throws a lot of strikes. He is painting corners.
Lions 0 for 1, trying to steal bases this year. Valdespin is a tough out. He's 14 for 32 against Lancaster, 438. Here's the pitch from Albaladejo, and that's bounced into right field, a base hit. Lyons is going to sprint for third and not draw a throw. All of a sudden, a threat with 2 outs in the second inning. And again one of those high bouncing hits for Jordani Valdespin.
Yeah.
He's got a patent on them.
Is that like a 12-foot chopper? It hits off the ground and just dives out. Is that similar to the hit you were talking about last night? What was it, the Orioles chop?
Baltimore chop.
The Baltimore chop.
That's the name for it. Now,
was that it?
Traditionally, Baltimore chops stay in the infield.
Okay.
But the idea is the same. You swing down, you get the ball to bounce high, and guys with speed beat them out.
Looks like one of those Super Balls you buy out of the gumball machine at your grocery store for 50 cents. Kids will try to throw them on the ground and see how high they bounce. It's the same appliance with the baseball here tonight and last night.
The Ducks have pressure on Albaladejo once again. 2 outs, runners at the corners. Bonifacio stands in, and he will take a strike to the outer edge, 0-1.
And we talk about, bases loaded, no out. I feel like I've said that enough now, but when you don't get anything for it, it could be trouble. But if you turn it around here, maybe you forget about that first inning.
Long Island has had 5 base runners already tonight. Here's a pitch to Bonifacio. That's away. A ball and a strike. Remember, it's Taylor Ard now on deck and not Travis Snyder.
And with 2 outs, if they strand these 2 guys, that's already more than what they had all of last night. They left 4 runners on base in yesterday's 5-4 win for the Ducks.
1 ball, 1 strike. Right-hander takes a while in the set, decides to throw to first base. Valdespin is back. The move that's no longer legal is the step toward third and the return throw to first base. That has been deemed a balk. And it hardly ever worked for anybody anyway, unless your name was Ben Fritz. He pulled it off several times while he was here. 1-1. Albaladejo working out of the set. He'll deal to Bonifacio high and wide, 2-1. The hardest hit ball of the inning was an out. Puckett's liner to third. The 2 singles have been bleeders, but they have the Ducks in business here in the second inning. 2 balls, 1 strike on Emilio Bonifacio. Lions up the line from third. Valdespin is off first. Here's a 2-1 pitch. That's outside, 3-1. Now the Ducks are 1 pitch away from having the bases loaded for the 2nd consecutive inning.
Is this the first time Albaladejo's in a 3-ball count?
I know he went to 2-0 on Bonifacio back in the first. I don't think he went to ball 3 there. 3-1 to the switch hitting center fielder. Albaladejo comes back, and that ball is lined out toward left and in for a base hit. A run scores. 3 singles in a row with 2 outs here in the second inning. The Ducks enforcing their will tonight. A 1-0 lead. That's 5 hits, and the first one that's been hard hit off of Albaladejo. Now here is Taylor Ard, who was forced into the game after Travis Snyder was hit by a pitch and had the lead. Stopping at second on that base hit was Valdespin. All of this developing with 2 outs in the second. Not only 2 outs, but 2 outs and an 0-2 count on Dan Lyons when he slapped the ball back off the right hand of Jonathan Albaladejo and beat it out for an infield single. Valdespin bounces one through the right side. Again, Hobson has the play if there's not the runner at first. Bonifacio with the solid hit, driving in a run. You just can't let the Ducks run away with things here. It's just 1-0. but they have had base runners everywhere this entire game.
Yeah, all of a sudden, 5 through not even 2 whole innings.
Albaladejo spins off a breaking ball. That's good for a strike. It is 0-1. 5 singles and a hit batter through 1 2/3, and the 5 outs came in a row.
Yeah. Isn't that weird?
0-1. The count to the slugging Taylor Ard. He can play the corners in the infield. And stated at first base here tonight. Albaladejo comes back, and that ball is hit in the air toward right field. Charging in is GAILEN. He'll be there. And that's the final out. 1 run scores with 3 hits, no errors. The Ducks leave 2. And after an inning and a half tonight here at Clipper Magazine Stadium, Long Island is up 1-0.
We can't help but always want more, especially on the road. More horsepower, heightened handling, elevated design. Get more out of your drive with a Lexus IS. Bold styling, track-tuned handling, available 311 horsepower. Experience the exhilaration of the IS 350 and IS 300. Available in F-Sport and all-wheel drive. See Bobby Rahal Lexus in Mechanicsburg.
Enjoy weekends with the Barnstormers all season long. Every Friday evening home game will feature a different giveaway ranging from t-shirts to beach towels to backpacks. On Saturdays, enjoy the best entertainment doubleheader there is with Barnstormers baseball followed by fireworks. Sundays are fun days at the ballpark. Get autographs from some of your favorite Barnstormers players and play catch on the field before the game. Once the game is over, it's a Domino's Pizza Kids base run. Call 717-509-HITS to order your tickets or go to LancasterBarnstormers.com. And we'll see you at the ballpark.
The Barnstormers facing their 3rd left-handed opposing starting pitcher in the last, 5 games. And they've not had a lot of success against these lefties here this week. Casey Hobson will lead off here in the 2nd inning.
Something about southpaws that makes it so deceptive for so many batters.
This ballpark and our lineup.
Yeah.
Our switch hitters are all hitting better left-handed.
Now, do you believe a lot of lefties balk a lot but just don't get called for it? Do you ever think about that?
Runners at first base, they know what the parameters are. First pitch to Casey Hobson, line to right. That's going to scoot all the way to the wall. Washington will play it there and hold Hobson to a loud single leading off here in the 2nd inning. The Barnstormers have their 2nd hit. Trayvon Robinson will come to the plate. With a 2-man umpiring crew, as they used to have in the lower minors, that the left-handers would get away with balks all the time because the umpire wasn't in a position to pick it up. But where Nate Caldwell is right now, he's going to see it if the pitcher comes back across that 45-degree line.
I know that's a complaint I've heard from a lot of fans, is that lefties get away with it all the time.
To Robinson. That is smashed and into right center field, a base hit. Going over for it, Bonifacio. Hobson will hold on at second. 2 pitches in the inning and 2 singles for the Barnstormers. Oh, now Lancaster, the team that has it set up. We told you this was going to be an active ball game.
Yep.
Just by the nature of Albaladejo and Fisher. They give up hits, and as we've seen, occasionally a run. Not too many walks. 2 pitches, 2 singles, 2 solid singles for the Lancaster Barnstormers. The batter is Nate Coronado, hitting .240 with 2 home runs, 10 runs batted in. Lancaster really could use to do something out of this. Vladimir Frias on deck, then Anderson De La Rosa. Fisher comes to the set. The defense expects a bunt, and he twirls a strike onto the outside corner. Nate bats at 0-1. The Barnstormers are 3 for 5 in the game. They haven't gotten a runner past second base. 0-1. Fisher comes set, looks around, and a Coronado swung on. That is lined and caught by the second baseman, Valdespin.
Wow.
What a rough break.
Man.
This is, in so many ways, just a rough start to this ball game for the Barnstormers. They have tattooed Fisher. The last 5 batters have scalded the baseball, and yet nothing to show for it. And they give up a run on an infield single, a bouncer through the right side, and then a hard hit single by Bonifacio. But Castile's double play ball was smoked just to the left of Lyons. The 2 singles this inning hit very hard. Coronado lines to Valdespin, fortunately not with the runners in motion, or that's a triple play.
Yeah, I was just about to say, yeah.
Here's Vladimir Frias batting .331 with 4 homers and 18 runs batted in. And Lancaster has scorched 5 baseballs in a row. Still first and second with 1 out now. To the plate, and Vlad looks at ball 1 upstairs, 1-0. Anderson De La Rosa, the catcher, waits on deck. We're full on the deck. We're full upstairs. The seating bowl in good shape. And the hill is filling in.
Yeah.
1-0 Ducks here in the second inning. And Frias swinging a pop-up foul out of play to the right.
Yeah, this is a chance for the Barnstormers to take advantage where Long Island has, for the most part, failed to do so. I mean, sure, they have 1 run, but when you really look at the possibilities, the Barnstormers could have been down by 4 at this point, maybe even more. So if Lancaster can take advantage here, get a big hit, score a couple runs, that can help moving forward in this game.
Runners lead off first and second with 1 out. Frias swings and hits a ball over the glove of the third baseman Puckett down the line. Here comes Hobson to score, charging for third. Robinson, he's in there. Frias to second with a double. The Barnstormers have tied the game and look for more.
That's what I'm talking about.
Puckett appeared in position to spear the ball down the third base line, and at the last second it jumped up over his glove. Vladimir Frias with his 11th double drives in his 19th run. Anderson De La Rosa to the plate with runners at second and third and 1 out.
Yeah, and where Coronado made a great play on the corner, Puckett could not. That's the kind of hit I'm talking about. Frias gets one there, drives in a run, tied up, and a chance for more to come. 1 out. Now you got 2 guys in scoring position for De La Rosa, whose batting average has raised significantly since where it was about the first 5 weeks through the season.
He's been riding a yo-yo. He was up to 275 at one point, then dropped down nearly to 200.
Right.
And now back into the 220s. He takes a ball inside. It's 1-0. Tyler Bortnick waits on deck.
But you always will see De La Rosa, or at least frequently see him in the lineup for his pure ability behind the plate as a catcher.
Inside for ball 2, 2-0. Anderson is just 2 for 10, driving in runners from third base with fewer than 2 outs. He's got the chance here. The Ducks play the infield back early in the game. So even with a ground ball to second or short, he should be able to plate Trayvon Robinson. 2 balls, no strikes. The offering cut on and popped up foul back out of play toward the rear of the seats behind home plate.
De La Rosa just ended up uppercutting that ball a little bit, sort of chipping at it from the top half of that bat.
2 balls, 1 strike. Lancaster looking to make more out of this inning. Right now they have forged a 1-1 tie. De La Rosa batting with Bortnick waiting on deck. Here's the set and the pitch, off speed, and popped up foul down the right side and out of play. It is 2-2.
Yeah, he did it again though with that pitch. He takes his bat and he uppercuts at the ball. It's the best way I can think of how to describe it.
And I think he lunges.
Yeah.
He tends to lunge.
Yeah, like he's trying to sky the ball.
When he's in an RBI situation instead of just swinging for the line drive.
Was he just trying to get a sac fly, I guess?
Here's a 2-2 pitch. That is popped up foul out of play.
That one looks
we'll
a little
do it all
better.
again.
Barnstormers with their 8 and 9 hitters. De La Rosa here, Bortnick due up.
You want to put the ball in play low here.
You really do.
unless you can get a fly ball deep enough into the outfield.
Yeah.
Robinson's got enough speed to score on most of them. Here's the 2-2 on De La Rosa, breaking ball, and that is strike three called.
And he knew it. Walked right away.
Leaves it up to Bortnick here in the second inning. Tyler hitting 195 with a couple of home runs and 17 runs batted in. I've got to keep an eye on Bill Worthington. I forget this every time that he works the plate. His third strike call is very delayed. It's very deliberate, and you don't always notice it.
Right.
You pick up the hitter walking away before you pick up his called third strike.
Well, and that's why I said De La Rosa knew it, because he walked away before he even made the call.
Bortnick with a smash to third. That is handled by Puckett, and Fisher pitches his way out of an inning. The Barnstormers get one on 3 hits with no errors, 2 left. At the end of 2, it's tied at 1.
Everyone will get a coupon for it.
I'm a chef. Pleasing my patrons' palates is paradise. But lately, when I hear a cheer from the dining room, it's Keno from the Pennsylvania Lottery. Sure, it could be my veggie lasagna, but chances are it's customers picking numbers to win cash with drawings every 4 minutes. Keno's fun, exciting, and you can enjoy it as an appetizer or a main course. Hey, everything tastes better with winning. Keno, it's here. Played at your favorite bar or restaurant.
Players must be 18 or older. Please play responsibly. Benefits older Pennsylvanians every day.
Enjoy a weeknight with the Barnstormers and leave with your wallet largely intact. Come on out on Munchie Mondays for all you can eat nachos, dogs, fries, popcorn, and soda for 2 hours. Or how about Koozie Tuesdays, where fans of legal age can enjoy $2 domestic drafts from 6:30 to 8. Bring your dog on Wiener Wednesdays and enjoy delicious dollar dogs as well. Or on Thrifty Thursday, popcorn is just $1, sodas are $2, and lawn seats are only $3. Call 717-509-HITS to order your tickets or go to LancasterBarnstormers.com. And we'll see you at the ballpark.
Offers you a unique partner for all of your heating and cooling needs.
Jonathan Albaladejo will face the middle third of the Long Island batting order as we're into the top half of the third inning. Tied at 1 here tonight. Neither club has been able to come up with the really big hit they've been looking for. 5 hits for Long Island tonight. The Barnstormers with 4. And just the 1-1 tie. Ford steps in. Lou struck out back in the first inning with the bases loaded as Albaladejo escaped a huge threat there. First pitch to the inside corner for a called strike. It is 0-1. David Washington and Ramon Cabrera scheduled to follow. Ford looking at a pitch down and away. It is a 1-ball, 1-strike count. Each team striking for a run in the second inning on a series of base hits. That's chopped back toward the hill. Albaladejo fumbles. He's got to hurry now. The throw, and it pulled Hobson off the bag.
I don't know if I agree with that. I don't
Nate
think
Caldwell is
Albaladejo
going
does.
to get an argument on this one. Hobson stretched out. Albaladejo will be charged with an error.
Yeah, here comes Ross. I thought he was there.
Hobson with a good long stretch.
Yeah, I thought he got him.
And Ross is going to at least get the umpires to talk about this one.
This is where I wish we could play that replay on the scoreboard here. I know we have it now. Should be some features that are available to our viewers watching on the YouTube stream.
Yeah, but you may not.
You're not allowed to.
Yeah, you may not show that.
Yeah.
On a close play.
Right.
So Bill Worthington, Nate Caldwell talk about it. Albaladejo fumbled the chopper, still had time to pick it up and throw, and then his throw wasn't very good. And they're going to rule that Ford is safe on the error.
Yeah.
And that is much to the chagrin of the partisan crowd here in Lancaster.
So, Dave, they can't look at that. So I want to ask you, I mean, you have your own eyes, you make your own opinion there, but do you like the idea of what Major League Baseball does and you can challenge that? I know this is minor league baseball, but if we have a replay available, or are you not for that?
If it's available, I challenge it. But
do
I'd
you
want to
think
see
that
the
should be
replay
allowed?
first.
Do you think
not
that should be
in this
allowed?
league? No.
No.
It slows the game down.
Right.
That's part of the problem Major League Baseball is having. The games are taking too long,
They
and
are.
replay's part of it.
Yeah, I agree with that. So you were okay with human error in the game?
Yeah, it leads to some good old-fashioned rhubarbs, too. Ball is outside 1-0. Not Ross's style.
No, I don't think so.
If that had been Butch, you might have seen some fur fly on that call. Ball 1 and no strikes to Washington, lined out the center, charging in Sanford. He slides but has to play it on a bounce, and now another threat. Runners at first and second with nobody out. Albaladejo could probably absolutely kick himself for not making the play on Ford. It was as easy as you get.
Still, I'm going to go right here, and I'm going to compliment Sanford there because he went down and played that off a hop, because some guys make that mistake, and if it gets past him, and it happened in Major League Baseball to Marcelo Ozuna a week ago, where what could have been an out had he not slid turned into a triple and the other team won. So
yeah, and that's he's got to stop it there. But now Ramon Cabrera steps in, runners at first and second, nobody out. Cabrera flied to left field, back in the first inning for the final out there. More runners for the Long Island Ducks. Cabrera takes a strike, it's 0-1. Now, sooner or later, one side or the other is going to get a huge multi-run hit in this game and take command of it. No balls and one strike to Cabrera as Albaladejo tries to figure out a way to get a double play ground ball. Six singles off Jonathan so far tonight. And to Cabrera, there's a hopper handled by Hobson. He'll get one. The throw back to Albaladejo is good for two. 3-6-1 on the double play. Ford left at third with two outs, and Cody Puckett stepping in. There's the double play ground ball. Two huge outs. Hobson and Frias have teamed up twice now on those double plays on this homestand. The other one came when Dave Stewart was in here with us on a BRC 11 game the other night, and he complimented Frias, but Hobson has to make that really good throw to lead the shortstop on that play as well. Albaladejo got over to cover. Hobson with a play this time around where he was unable to get back. Cody Puckett stands in, two outs, runner at third. He taps it foul at the plate, no balls and a strike. 1-1 ball game, top of the third. Albaladejo finding a way to at least decrease the pressure in this third inning. But still, a go-ahead run is 90 feet away with two outs. 0-1 on Puckett. Albaladejo misses outside and low, stopped by De La Rosa.
Albaladejo has been quite active too today, not just throwing, but he's had to made that attempt at the catch, ran over to first base and got a put out down, activating all nine.
Here's a 1-1 on Puckett. Breaking ball to the inside corner. Albaladejo uses his curveball to get ahead 1-2. Top of inning 3 here tonight. 1-2 fastball beaten foul up the third base line. We'll do it all again.
That was the Baltimore chop attempt. Just went foul.
Valdespine's the guy who really has it down, but Lyons can do it too. We've seen Ford do it.
That was Puckett's attempt. I'll tell you what, these two teams really battle each other hard. I saw watching online while you were calling the games in Long Island. 3-game set that Long Island took 2 of 3 in. Good games when these two teams meet.
To Puckett now. Off the outside corner. Albaladejo wanted that one.
Yeah, you had to wait. I was just about to say.
2-2.
Was Worthington going to come back and crank the strike call? I wasn't sure.
Ford up the line from third. Puckett awaits the 2-2, and it is popped up on the right side. Backpedaling is Bortnick. Tyler aways into right center field. Makes the catch. Albaladejo gets out of a jam again. This time self-created. No runs, one hit with one error and one man left on base. We'll go to the bottom of the third in a 1-1 ball game.
Learn from the pros right here in Lancaster. The Lancaster Barnstormers are offering 2 3-day-long youth clinics this summer with instruction on pitching, hitting, fielding, and base running. Each session, led by veteran professional players, will last from 9 until noon with lunch to follow. Choose from June 19th to 21st or July 24th to 26th. So learn what it takes to succeed on the field and off. Call the Barnstormers office at 717-509-HITS or go to LancasterBarnstormers.com. Space is limited. Act now.
Introducing the all-new Lexus RX 350L, designed for room. Room for a power-folding third row. Room for up to 7. And room for the unexpected. The 3-row RXL. It's the RX with room for more. Experience the innovative RXL and RXL hybrid. See Bobby Rahal Lexus in Mechanicsburg.
RX 450HL arriving spring 2018.
Receive a coupon for a free Fast Play ticket. Fans are proud to be running a very special ticket offer that is good for tonight only. Head to the Two-Digits box office until the end of
It's
the
a great ball game so far and a good-sized crowd. I'm not sure we're going to hit the 69-27 of opening night. We may get close. It depends. If these open seats I'm seeing, these open sections, I think we're sold. The impression I'm getting, the skyboxes and the Haller Picnic Pavilion are full. It's the seating bowl where these little patches of seats. First pitch to DARIAN SANDFORD is outside. Ball 1 and no strikes. It's also hazy, smoky-ish to some extent here.
The other thing I wonder is with the broken bat deck being added now, do fans maybe not go to their seats as much?
There's a ball lined toward right center field and caught by the center fielder Bonifacio. Sanford retired. One out here in the bottom of the third. Blake Galen will step in. Galen already has extended his hitting streak to 13 with a line single just clearing the glove of the shortstop Dan Lyons back in the first inning. Yeah, that's hamburger smoke. It smells incredible right now.
I'm serious. I wonder if maybe you don't see as many fans in their seats because of that. That's one thing with baseball parks.
It may be true. Breaking ball is low to Blake Galen. Ball 1, no strikes. Ryan Castile waits on deck.
Yeah, I think it's an interesting element. You know, the way baseball parks are now, especially in the major leagues, there's so much there aside from the game itself.
2-0. And that's what's changed. It's culturally changed.
I was about to ask, I don't know.
People used to go to baseball games or sporting events to watch the game.
Right.
Now it's all about the event.
It's so weird to me because I grew up, at least in hockey it's almost happening now. Little Caesars Arena, which is home to the Detroit Red Wings, there is so much in the concourse that half the fans are in their seats. Now, I don't know with baseball, but with hockey growing up, everybody wanted to be in their seat every minute of all 3 periods. And that's just not what it used to be.
2 balls, 2 strikes to Galen after he's taken 2 in a row. The pitch cut on and chopped back to the hill. Barnstormer, and a throw by Fisher is bobbled by Ard. Barnstormers can't get the ball away from Fisher, but again, We have a misconnection between a pitcher and a first baseman, and it was clear that was swept away by Ard, and an error will be charged there. To whom, I am not sure. I thought that got there on the fly to Ard, but I may be mistaken. Ryan Castile comes to the plate with one out and a runner on, and it's been remarkable the similarities between these half innings. Still 1-1. We'll see if Castile can take advantage here. Fisher goes to work on Ryan and delivers a strike. It is 0-1. You're not seeing walks. There has not been one in the ball game. 6 hits and 1 error for the Ducks, 4 hits and 1 error for the Barnstormers. To Castile, wide of the plate, and a 1-ball, 1-strike count.
It's being an E1 charge to Fisher there.
I'm glad you know that. Game Live is not coming up on mine.
Well, yes, but texting on your iPhone X is. So, fortunately, we know the scorer.
So, E1.
I think you could call it either way. I'm not sure. I had E3 originally.
Again, I'd have to see the replay to see whether that ball short hopped Ard or not.
Yeah, my naked eye would have given me an E3, but it can be seen in many different ways.
Galen takes the lead. It's a ball and a strike on Castile. Caught on and wrapped foul over toward third, 1-2. And, of course, we're all battling the sun.
Yes, we are.
And that doesn't make it any easier either.
No.
That's one where the scorekeeper can go down after the game and ask Kevin Bias.
Yep.
Sugarland up big early, 4-0 at York, top half of the third inning. So it looks like the Barnstormers may very well have to win tonight.
Right.
1-2, and a throw to first base with Galen hopping back in. No one ever said this race would be easy.
No, and from what you've talked about, it seems that it never is for this team.
Here comes the 1-2. Castile goes down swinging. He chased a pitch in the dirt, shades of watching last night's left-hander, Bennett Perry. It's all up to Hobson. Hobson singled to right back in the second.
When you talk about this race not being easy, do you think it's always both divisions, or does the Freedom Division always seem to be more tight?
Well, it depends on the year. The Barnstormers, the only time they ever really just got hot and pulled away was the first half in 2012. That Lancaster just ran roughshod after starting the year about 15-15. 2 outs. Galen leads off first. Hobson will look at a breaking ball for a strike. It is 0-1. But last year, both halves, the Barnstormers had about a 4-game lead midway through and then started to stumble. They didn't collapse, but they started to stumble, and they were caught. They were caught by Southern Maryland in the first half. They were caught by York in the second half. And now Sugarland, which was once down by 5, a chance to climb within a half a game at the end of play tonight. The Barnstormers have been in first place since 6 weeks ago tonight with a peak of a 5-game lead.
How about that York team, too? Because I know they're probably not going to make it this half, but from what I understand, what history tells us, they are a darn good second-half team.
1-ball, 1-strike. The count on Casey Hobson. Shift is on against him as he faces the left-hander Jake Fisher. Galen leads from first. Time is called. RBI single for Emilio Bonifacio. RBI double for Vladimir Frias, the only 2 guys that have been able to get runs home tonight. Ball 2 is outside and low to KC. Trayvon Robinson waits on deck. The Barnstormers will face former Atlanta Brave Jair Jurgens here tomorrow. And for Lancaster, it will be their veteran left-hander, one Mr. Nate Reed. Two balls and a strike. There goes Galen. The pitch to KC, a breaking ball. There will be no throw by Cabrera. Galen has the steal. That's his 7th of the year. 3-1, the count to Hobson. A base hit could give the Barnstormers the lead. what you'd love to see here is Hobson drive a ball toward the shortstop hole and bust the shift. Gailen would be able to score easily.
115th stolen base for this team on the year.
Only 5 games where the Barnstormers haven't grabbed at least one.
That is something.
3 balls, 1 strike to Casey Hobson, and he'll get ball 4, leaving it to Robinson. First walk given up by either pitcher in the game. Robinson single to right center field back in the second inning. He's got 2 on with 2 out. The Barnstormers with 2 guys batting left-handed tonight, and I suppose it's worth noting they've both been on base twice, although it took an error for Gailen this time around.
True.
Blake had a single his first time up. Hobson a single and a walk. Robinson with a chance to give the Barnstormers their first lead.
Two for 7 in the series against Long Island this week. Is Trayvon.
Fisher goes to work on Robinson. There's a swing and a foul out of play down the right field line. On the 41st pitch by Fisher. He can go a long ways into a game. We talked about how Somerset successfully mines the other independent leagues. Long Island does too. John Brownell, in truth, Bennett Perry. Outside, it is now a 1 ball and 1 strike count on Trayvon Robinson.
Yeah, Jake Fisher, who was with the Windy City Thunderbolts, 5 years in the Frontier League. So you talk about mining other leagues and finding some gems.
You can find some awfully good pitchers out there.
Certainly can.
1 ball, 1 strike to Robinson. Trayvon checks a swing, fouls it back. Fisher with the advantage at 1 and 2. Any run that would score would be unearned. First 3 innings have taken a while, not because of a tremendous number of pitches thrown either way, but because there have been so many guys on. A lot of some throws over, and
you had
a lot of this. Batters stepping out.
Plus you had the question of was the throw over from Albaladeo to Hobson in time? You had when Snyder was hit by a pitch and it took him a while, so.
To Robinson, 1-2, breaking ball, chopper toward third, long hop, handled by Puckett, and that will end the inning. Now, neither side able to take advantage of opportunities in any major way tonight. No runs, no hits in there. Lancaster strands 2 here at the end of 3. It's a 1-1 ball game.
Like craft beers, local wines? Well, the best place to be in Lancaster then is Clipper Magazine Stadium. That's right, all new for 2018 is the Broken Bat deck down the right field line. The Broken Bat will feature more than 20 local craft breweries and product from 2 local wineries. If something with a little more kick is your adult beverage of choice, a local distillery is part of the Broken Bat as well. Food will be sold off a pub-style menu, so get together, hang out with your friends, make some new ones, and enjoy a night of craft beer sampling along with a Barnstormers game.
AMT Concerts presents Rock at the Park Festival, Saturday, July 21st, featuring sets from Fuel, Eve 6, Sister Hazel, Long Beach Dub All-Stars, Fastball, and more. Rock at the Park, Saturday, July 21st, at Clipper Magazine Stadium, Lancaster. Tickets on sale now at rockatthepark.com.
Anthony Vega, Dan Lyons, and Jordani Valdespine, the scheduled hitters as we go to the top of the 4th inning. For Long Island, 1 run, 6 hits, 1 error, 6 left. The Barnstormers a run on 4 hits, 1 error, and 4 men left on base. Each side has turned a ground ball double play in the game so far. Vega fouled out to the left fielder Robinson back in the second inning. Albaladejo has been in harm's way more often tonight than Jake Fisher. The Ducks are 1 for 7 with runners in scoring position. The Barnstormers are 1 for 5.
Yeah, they both ran into some problems here. Albaladejo a little bit more, but they're both guys that are running into problems and maybe getting some help from their late pitches, maybe 1-2 outs, and then they're able to put the guy away after getting a couple of guys on.
Now to Vega. First pitch strike delivered by Albaladejo. It is 0-1 with Lions waiting on deck.
Talk about the battle between these two teams, and they're both fighting for something valuable.
6 one-run games out of the 8 played between these two ball clubs. There hasn't been a blowout.
Some extra innings as well.
1-1.
Yeah, I mean, you talked about it last night. The narrative is the Barnstormers are trying to hang on to first. The Long Island Ducks are trying to gain first in opposite divisions.
Vegas shows bunt, takes ball 2, and Albaladejo, for one of the few times tonight, has fallen behind a hitter.
And just to do my scheduling fact check, we have a 7-game set against Sugar Land next week, and when we return home, it's a 4 games.
4 games against the Road Warriors with a doubleheader on the 3rd.
Tuesday,
ball
the 3rd,
3 to Vega.
And at the end of that series, we will know who has the first half title.
Unless there's a schedule interruption from rain, yes.
Right, okay.
It'll be decided on a tiebreaker if need be. And there's a decided possibility that could happen.
Yes.
3-1, Vega with a swing and a chop foul. Outside first base, 3-2.
And the first tiebreaker is division play?
First tiebreaker's head-to-head. The second tiebreaker is division record.
Right, and so far we've only played the Skeeters
3 times.
And
so
won that series 2-1.
That's where York beating Sugar Land a couple of times remaining would come into play. Fouled at the plate, still 3-2 on Vega.
Now playing shortstop for the
By the way,
Stormers, number 6, Carlos Garcia.
Carlos Garcia has gone into shortstop. We're just informed. To Vega. Payoff pitch, fouled back to the screen. This will be at least an 8-pitch at bat now.
So that's the lone switch. Frias is out. Taking the 7th spot in the lineup.
Don't know what precipitated that.
Right. Garcia batting 7th.
Yes, sir. Payoff pitch, hit on the ground to Hobson. He'll underhand and make a bad throw to Albaladejo. What is going on between pitchers and first baseman tonight? That is the 3rd blown throw. Hobson fielding that ball. Albaladejo over there to cover, although it was going to be a foot race. Hobson shoveled the ball over Albaladejo's head. Runner at first base, nobody out. Dan Lyons stepping in. I do not understand. You see that play turned 99 times out of 100 and either 1-3 or 3-1 with the short throws, and tonight we're 0 for 3.
I was just about to say, 3rd exchange of the night that has went unsuccessful. The big thing here, though, is neither team has really had to pay for it just yet. But you keep sitting here wondering, okay, when is it going to happen?
When's the roof going to cave in?
Because it's got to happen.
One team or the other.
I just don't see us going a few more innings with this happening and the score not changing.
Albaladejo fires the first. Vega, who has stolen 4 out of 5, back in.
I don't want to jinx it, but I'm going to say it. With the way things are going, next thing you know, he's going to throw over to first and someone's going to miss it. Something's going to happen. It's a weird one.
We had an E1 both ways in the 3rd inning and now an E3 on the throw. Throw to first base. Vega leans back in again. Lyons is, as Barnstormers fans are well aware, a very adept bunter. Having a tough time at the plate this season, though you have to anticipate at least the possibility of it here. Runner on with nobody out. Albaladejo comes to the set, looks over his shoulder. Vega's going to go. The pitch high. The De La Rosa throw, wrong side of the bag. And Vega is in with his 5th steal. The Ducks get the go-ahead run into scoring position. It is a ball and no strikes on Dan Lyons.
By the way, Barnstormers committing they're second to the Road Warriors in errors. Now with these 2, it's 54 errors on the year for Lancaster.
And Ross Peoples has had a hard time with that. He talked about last night, not necessarily errors per se, but not making plays later on in that first inning.
And it ended up being a 1-run game, so you look back at it and say, what could have been?
Here's a pitch to Lyons. He swings away, lines this out to left field. Robinson in place for the catch, and darting back into second, Vega. Runner at second with 1 out, an unproductive out, although Lyons certainly got a good swing in.
Yep.
With 1 away, the batter is Jordani Valdespin. He and Emilio Bonifacio both 2 for 2 in the ball game tonight. Valdespin has 15 hits in the season series against Lancaster. He has been a very tough out.
Yeah, there's a lot of guys that just seem to raise their batting average when playing the Barnstormers on this Long Island team. Looking at a couple of the averages earlier today.
Vega with the good speed, the runner in scoring position with 1 out. Valdespin, the former Met, in the number 1 spot in the batting order for the Ducks. Gets a ball inside. It's 1-0.
Yeah, look at some of these guys. So Valdespin against Lancaster this season alone, 419. Snyder, well, he's out of the game now, but he was 323. Bonifacio has 23 RBIs on the year. 6 are against the Barnstormers.
These 2 clubs playing for the 9th time in 20 days. Tomorrow will be the 10th meeting in 21 days. No surprises left, really.
No.
1-0 on Valdespin. The pitch by Albaladejo, inside and low to go to 2-0. Well, the error leading off the inning has the Barnstormers on the ropes again. It has been constant here tonight. 2-0. Albaladejo looks back at Vega. Now to the plate. Valdespin takes ball 3.
Another fun fact, Blake Galen increased his hitting streak to 13 consecutive games. Jordani Valdespin is now on a 17-game on-base streak with his pair of singles from earlier today.
3-0. Albaladejo ready to go. Valdespin will look at a strike. It is 3-1. 2 very tough, experienced Major League veteran hitters digging in here, one or the other, trying to pick up Anthony Vega from second base and give the Ducks their second lead of the night.
Time called from Valdespin. It's granted.
3 balls, 1 strike. Vega leading from second. Valdespin awaiting the pitch from Albaladejo. Here is the 3-1. That is strike number 2.
Oh.
Valdespin
He was
thought
ready.
he had the walk.
Yep, I was just going to say. He was ready to toss the bat down and trot to first, but
But sometimes these guys are trying to sell it.
I think so, too.
Sometimes they legitimately think that
same
way.
thing with the catcher behind the plate, right? They'll square up a pitch to make it appear as if it's a strike.
3-2 with 1 out. Set by Albaladejo, payoff pitch, fouled at the dish.
Sometimes you have to be an actor in professional sports, right? With the selling. See it in hockey all the time.
Did it Snyder the other night.
What's that?
Galen hit the ball to right field, I think in the series opener. Snyder sold the catch. He didn't catch it. We saw the replay.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. But it was at a point in the game it didn't matter all that much.
Right. They called it an out?
They called it an out. 3-2 once again to Valdespin. Vega inching off second, not taking off. Ball 4 is high. That is a second base runner here in the 4th inning. The Ducks have been everywhere tonight. Here's Bonifacio. He's 2 for 2. A ground single through the right side of the 1st inning and an RBI line drive base hit into left center field back in the 2nd. Again, that lead runner aboard on an error. And sooner or later, you would expect to have to pay a price. 2 innings in a row, the Barnstormers have failed to convert on a play in between Albaladejo and Hobson.
Yeah, we're limbering through a couple of innings here tonight. Given plenty of time for that.
The runners take off. The pitch is a ball, and De La Rosa only bluffs. He thought he might have a chance on Valdespin. They pull off the double steal, and that's on Albaladejo. That takes the double play off. It's 1 ball and no strikes on Bonifacio.
Something I'm so used to seeing on the other side of this field with the Barnstormers doing that double steal. Used to seeing Noel and Sanford out there when Noel would be in the 9-hole, Sanford lead off.
1-0 to Bonifacio. The infield is going to pull about 2/3 of the way in for the Barnstormers. This is risky. Ross doesn't want Long Island taking a lead here, but he risks a 2-run lead. To Bonifacio, it is away for ball 2. And Albaladejo, I think, was pitching carefully to Valdespin. And now they say the count is a ball and a strike.
Our board doesn't show that. Oh, there we go. We'll reset
They're switching it, looking at the fingers of Bill Worthington. And I'm not sure which one he called a strike.
Yeah.
Because he said 1-0 after that first pitch.
I didn't even see him do a strike. I don't know. Whatever. At this point, you got to work with
1 ball, 1 strike, and he's showing that into the Barnstormers dugout as well.
I think Ross was actually looking over. He seemed a bit confused, too. Ross thought it was 2-0.
Vega at third, Valdespin, the runner at second base, 1 out. Bonifacio, a very tough guy to strike out. The pitch, looped foul. Valdejo will give it a try here. It's 1 ball and 2 strikes now. Or at the very least, get a bouncer at one of these infielders.
And we mentioned Bonifacio already 6 RBIs against the Barnstormers in the games he's played against this team this season. He has a chance for another pair with runners on and in scoring position, 2nd and 3rd occupied.
We saw the Ducks leave the infielders back in a similar situation in the 2nd inning. Ross has them pulled tighter. Garcia is a few steps off the grass. Everybody else pretty much right up there. 1 ball and 2 strikes on Bonifacio. Albaladejo to the plate and wide for ball 2. Jonathan Albaladejo's pitch count starts to climb. 69 for the ball game.
70th right there, in fact. Only through 3 1/3. This is a little untypical of a guy who leads the team in quality starts. I'll get to numbers a little bit later on. His career numbers against Long Island are also pretty good.
The errors just establishing these innings and putting Albaladejo into an immediate hole. 2-2 on Bonifacio. The motion, the pitch, and he is outside with that. 3-2. He is picking very carefully at the corners here with the right-handed batting Taylor Ard waiting on deck. A walk does not bring a run home. A ball through these infielders likely to score 2.
Yeah, it certainly is. Well, we'll see what can happen. You mentioned Bonifacio, not an easy guy to get down on strikes, and find out what can happen here. Full count, payoff pitch.
3-2, first base is open. Albaladejo ready to go. Stares in, has the sign, payoff pitch. He walked him.
I'd like to see Ross Peoples maybe come out here and talk to Jonathan.
This is the 2nd time now that the Ducks have had the bases loaded tonight. here with one out, and Taylor Ard is due. Ross will make a visit.
Yep. Good time to do it, I think.
Uses the first of his 3. This all got set up because the Barnstormers had a mishap on what could have, should have been a routine play.
It should have, yep.
Otherwise, you got 2 outs, nobody on, and I think you pitch differently.
Right.
I think Albaladejo attacks Valdespin and Bonifacio instead of trying to pick at them and not worry about the walk so much. It's a lot less damaging than the base hit, but now you got the bases loaded, 1 out, and Taylor Ard can do plenty of harm.
Well, you mentioned 1 of 3 visits, no bullpen action just yet, and you certainly hope you don't have to get to that until maybe the 5th inning.
Sugarland's gone to the 5th, 4-0 over York. The Barnstormers in need of a win, but a more pressing issue, in need of getting out of this inning without major harm done. Ard is 0 for 1 on a fly ball to shallow right field. You've got good speed all the way around. Vega, Valdespin, and Bonifacio, 1 out in the inning. Albaladejo to the plate, and he spins a breaking ball for a strike. It is 0-1. And Ard complains a bit to Bill Worthington about that call. Long Island has had 11 men reach base in this game. 6 hits, 2 walks, a hit batter, and 2 errors.
Yeah. Amazing that the score is just 1-1.
Ard chases. It's 0-2. Lou Ford is on deck.
Remember, Taylor Ard in for Travis Snyder. Out after being hit by a pitch in the first inning.
No balls, 2 strikes to Ard. Bases loaded with 1 out here. Albaladejo to the plate, bounced, and a block, clean block made by De La Rosa.
Now, is this where you see a bit of that erratic behavior on the mound? Pitches are going way out to the left.
That pitch was by design.
Okay.
That pitch was absolutely by design right there. I think he probably wanted it closer to over the plate.
Right.
But he wanted to bounce that pitch.
Okay.
That's by design. Hoping to get Ard to swing at it. You trust De La Rosa to block it. Ball 1, 2 strikes. Vega at third, Valdespin at second, Bonifacio at first. Albaladejo to the plate, 1-2, and just inside for ball 2. Ard pulled up on the swing, and we had to wait for a second. Talked about Bill Worthington. When he calls a third strike, it's very deliberate.
Yeah.
And you can be sort of left on the edge for a moment or two.
Kept in suspense.
2 balls, 2 strikes, with Ford due next. Delicate spot for Albaladejo. Here's his 2-2. In on the hands, popped up on the right side. Infield fly should have been called there. Didn't pick up if it was or not. Ard's retired, second out of the inning, and now it's Albaladejo against Ford. 2 outs, bases full. Again, a situation where any run would be unearned, with the error having started the inning. Ford is 0 for 2. He has struck out and reached on an error.
This has to be frustrating for both managers because there's been so many high, these are stressful innings for Albaladejo, and at the same time for Long Island, who's trying to take advantage. 11 base runners, and you've got 1 run through 3 innings, 3 2/3, but.
Yeah, be amazing to get through Ford again with the bases loaded. Second time he's been up there tonight with the sacks full. Albaladejo to the plate. Ford looks at ball 1 off the inside corner. It's been a painfully long inning for Albaladejo, who usually doesn't have many.
Yeah, we're already an hour and a half through our from our start time here. And not even through 4 full innings.
1 ball, no strikes, the count to Ford. Albaladejo back to work out of the line. The pitch, soft line drive, gloved by Garcia, the shortstop. Albie's done it again. He has worked his way through falling boulders here this evening without getting terribly hurt. No runs in the inning, no hits, one error. The Ducks lead 3-9 for the ball game. And as we go to the bottom half of the fourth inning, we're still tied at 1.
You're totally probably safe to ride on your spare for what, 6, maybe 9 months?
Don't trust the wrong advice. Get the right tires at the right price right away. It's what we've been doing at Jack Williams Tire right here in Pennsylvania since our family started this business back in 1929. Because doing things the right way is just the Williams way. Get the right tires right now at jackwilliams.com.
Lancaster Bible College has been around since 1933, but did you know that they offer degrees in much more than just Bible? LBC offers degrees in criminal justice, business, professional counseling, and more, as well as graduate and seminary degrees in areas like Christian care, chaplaincy, education, and leadership studies. To learn more about LBC and the programs they offer, visit lbc.edu. That's lbc.edu.
Quick update of the MLB scorebook today. The Phillies guarantee another series win. That's 4 in a row. A 5-3 decision over the Washington Nationals. Meanwhile, the Pirates and Diamondbacks back at it again after an extra inning affair last night. This time not so close. D-backs up 7-1. That game about to be over. A couple of finals from earlier today as well. The A's over the White Sox 7-6. Rangers top the Twins 9-6. The Marlins with a surprise win over the Colorado Rockies 6-2. And the Giants and Padres continuing their series out west. The Giants now back-to-back wins. A 5-3 decision earlier this afternoon. Oh, by the way, the Rays have beat the Yankees again. 2-1 last night, 4-0 today. 2 games, 1 run in 18 innings for the New York Yankees. That is untypical.
It is. Though, oddly, I would expect with that lineup that it might happen more often because they've got all sluggers, and sometimes you get the right pitcher against big swingers. You can shut them down. Ball 1 pitch to Coronado, line to right center field. He's got that down for a base hit. Washington will collect it. Coronado, line to the second baseman, back in inning 2. Now he picks up the Barnstormers' 5th hit. And you'll see Carlos Garcia come to the plate. No word on what happened to Vladimir Frias. He doubled in a run back in the second inning. And about an inning or so later, was out of the ball game. Garcia will come to the plate. Frias, by far the hotter hitter out of the two. Carlos down to 293. No home runs, 9 runs batted in. Well, what do you do here if you're Ross Peoples? This bottom of the order has not been terribly productive as of late. Coronado, the base runner, with nobody out. Garcia shortens the bunt. He gets it down over on the first base side. Fisher comes up with it and actually locates the glove of the first baseman.
Yeah, wow.
That's been a hard thing to do tonight.
What a surprise.
It'll be a sacrifice. The out goes 1-3. Coronado up the second, and the Barnstormers will have 2 shots at bringing him home. De La Rosa and Bortnick will step in. Lancaster trying to forge ahead. These clubs have not produced tonight with runners in scoring position. Long Island is now 1 for 10 over 4 innings. And that, by the way, includes 0 for 5 with the bases loaded.
Yeah, yep.
In these first 4 innings.
If you win a game doing that, I don't know what to say about the other team. I hate to be like that, but I'm sure maybe somewhere in your mind you're kind of thinking the same thing.
Barnstormers would love to pick up this run. De La Rosa went down looking back in the second inning, his first time up against Fisher, to the plate and taken for a strike. It is 0-1.
Couple more finals from today in Major League Baseball. Cardinals 3-2 over the Brewers. The Reds dominate the Chicago Cubs 11-2. The Orioles with a 7-5 win over the Braves. That's their first series win for Baltimore in the month of June.
0-1 to De La Rosa. Swing and a miss over the top. No balls and 2 strikes.
And it came over the NL East leading Braves. How did that happen? Good for the O's.
Because ... baseball.
Yeah. I think Baltimore is 23-52 right now. Haven't had a chance to take a look.
2 strikes to De La Rosa. Coronado at second with 1 man retired. Here's the set and the pitch. De La Rosa swings and he misses. Now he's gone on strikes for the second time tonight. The Barnstormers are now 1 for 6 with runners in scoring position on their own. Tyler Bortnick stepping in. Bortnick grounded out 5-3. Sharply grounded out 5-3. Back in the second inning. Tyler just hasn't found many holes this year.
No, he has not.
Looking for 1 here. 2 outs with the runner at second. Fisher glancing back at Coronado, now to the plate. Bortnick looks at ball 1. Darian Sanford waits on deck. Well, you start to think, when you watch the success that opposing left-handed pitchers have had here this week, that the Barnstormers maybe could use another right-handed bat, but I don't know how you go about getting it or what position.
Didn't Ross say something on our...
That's popped up by Bortnick, and Fisher's out of another inning. Ard makes the catch. That'll end the 4th. No runs, 1 hit, no errors, 1 left. And at the end of 4, still a 1-1 ball game.
Localflavor.com, local flavor. Localflavor.com, local flavor.
Excuse me, are you saying localflavor.com?
Oh, yeah, it's where I save big bucks on all kinds of things. Home improvement projects, dining out, family fun, electronics, jewelry, clothing. I even bought my wife a fancy spa package for half price.
Half price?
Yep, you know all the deals you find in Clipper Magazine.
I love Clipper Magazine.
Well, they're all on localflavor.com too. And you can get them right on your phone thanks to localflavor.com's mobile app. Here, take a look.
Well, this app is amazing. Look at all these restaurants, amusement parks, car washes, fitness centers. This is worth sharing about.
Exactly. Localflavor.com online, the Local Flavor mobile app, and Clipper Magazine together. It's like a triple play.
Do the cheer again. I'm in.
Localflavor.com, local flavor. Come on, everybody! Localflavor.com, local flavor. Localflavor.com, local flavor.
We've got a tight one again here tonight between the Barnstormers and the Ducks. It's been nothing but all year. Here to take you through inning number 5, my partner Andrew Mossbrooks.
Pleasure, Dave. Thank you very much. As you mentioned, 5th inning about to begin in a 1-1 game. Still staying out there is Jonathan Albaladejo, a player who a little untypical compared to some performances against the Long Island Ducks. Now, let's be fair. His lifelong record, this is his 9th game tonight against the Ducks. He's got a 1-4 record. That isn't the true tale. 56 innings pitched, a 3.05 ERA with 38 strikeouts. Some of his best starts back-to-back years, his first 2 years in the league, of course, with Bridgeport. Back in August of 2016, he allowed 1 run over 7 innings while striking out 9. Similar good start was last year, June 10th, 2 earned runs over 8 innings with 7 strikeouts. Not quite the same story today. Settling in is David Washington from the right batter's box. Again, a 1-1 tie to kick off the 5th inning. Ball leaves the fingertips for a strike by Albaladejo. De La Rosa there to square it up behind the plate. Washington up for the 3rd time tonight. He has a base hit back in the 3rd inning. Also reached first on a fielder's choice, so been on both times. Albaladejo looks to change that. The 0-1 pitch is swung at and missed. And once again, the man they call Albie getting ahead of the batters.
Interestingly, the only time the Ducks have scored in this ball game was in the inning they didn't get the leadoff man on base.
That is an interesting stat, as this ball hits the ceiling, and it's 1-2. Yeah, it's been a weird game. Both teams have featured some base runners, Barnstormers with 5. That doesn't quite compare to the 9 and 2 bases loaded scenarios for Long Island. Here's one that gets near the toes for a ball, and it is an even 2-2 count. Albaladejo, he's going to get rid of that ball. Umpire Bill Worthington behind home plate will toss a new one in. The former goes to the bat boy. Washington takes a moment before stepping right back in. Sun setting here on a great night at Clipper Magazine Stadium. Here's the wind, the fire, and it is, wait for it, a ball. Full count, and we mentioned earlier you have to be careful there. Bill Worthington may have called that. He says it's a little inside. I think Albaladejo gave him a bit of a look. Great crowd on hand tonight in Lancaster. We were worried about the rain, or at least the fans were. I don't think us as much. Well, not as much Dave at least. Full count is smoked just foul down the first base line and near the bullpen for the Barnstormers.
They got hit hard down in Virginia again today, but it stayed away from us for the most part. Got a lot of rain overnight. Heard it pounding my windows at one point in the middle of the night.
Yeah, it was hitting my windshield when I was still driving at near 1 a.m. Albaladejo throws one in here. This one is fouled back near the Lexus Suites, and it bounces right back down to the front row to the right of the dugout for the Ducks. Long Island, we mentioned, battling. They're a couple games back of the Somerset Patriots in the Liberty Division. Barnstormers a 1.5 game lead on the Skeeters. That could change pending the outcome of this contest. After all, Sugarland in the lead over York. Throw in there in the full count once again. Third pitch in a row is fouled off. Speaking of York, let's take a look at your Atlantic League look-in. The Skeeters 4-0 over York past the 5th inning. New Britain over the Road Warriors 4-0 in the 6th, and a 1-1 tie, not just here, but also between Southern Maryland and Somerset. That game has ended through 3 innings at least. On to the 4th they go. On to the full count here. Swung and another foul ball.
Washington's taking Albaladejo here to pitch number 10, and this is something that could really set up an inning for Long Island. Albaladejo probably a little bit fatigued anyway. This has been a long night for him. He usually gets through the order a lot more quickly than he has so far tonight. A lot of 2-strike foul balls, a lot of deep counts. Not so usual for Albaladejo.
Double-digit pitch, and it doesn't go well for him. David Washington is aboard with a walk, and as you mentioned, Dave, this pitch count continues to climb. The concerns do as well. Looks like there might be a catcher getting ready for a bullpen session, but I don't see an active arm.
Yeah, I would get somebody up. Usually, if you want 6 innings out of Albaladejo, he'll generally give you 6.
Yeah.
But that 10-pitch walk is an omen here in this top half of the 5th inning. Now, Albaladejo has been able to work his way through everything so far.
Well,
but that's the 3rd walk to the last 5 batters, all 3 left-handed batters in that span.
And from the right box, Ramon Cabrera steps in. Some fun facts about him in just a second as he swings over the first pitch for a strike. Ramon Cabrera, 5'8", 195 pounds. He's the smallest catcher in this league by height. Somerset has a pair at 5'10", Weisenberger being one of them. However, he does have some big league experience, 4 home runs in the majors, including back-to-back games with a home run against the Pittsburgh Pirates in 2016. Cabrera windmills the bat a little bit before bringing it back up. An 0-1 count. Albaladejo winds, fires, and this one smoked out for 1. Could be 2, and it will. The Barnstormers turn a double play, and while Albaladejo allows the leadoff man to get aboard, if you know anything about 80s songs, he's flirting with disaster and getting away with it.
That's crucial in this inning to get the double play out of Cabrera, who is very double play prone. 2 tonight against Ramon Cabrera, and so much for the omen of the 10-pitch walk starting off the inning. Those can be disastrous to either starting pitcher or a reliever, but Albaladejo again finds the right pitch, gets the double play, now needs to get through Puckett.
6-4-3 penciled in on your scorecards, and now, as you mentioned, Puckett up with 2 outs, nobody on the base paths. Unbelievable what the Barnstormers have gotten away with in this game. It's certainly one that I don't think Ross Peoples would tell you is a formula for success, but if they win, they'll take it. This pitch is just outside to the right side, and for the first time in this inning, we have a man in the left box, Cody Puckett. Right-handed. And the 1-0 is check swung, but the ball made contact with the bat. It goes back behind the screen, and an even count at 1 ball and 1 strike. Puckett has 8 runs batted in. He will not be given an opportunity to do so with anybody on the base paths. Looked like he might have had a chance there with the lead off aboard, but then it was the 6-4-3 turned over. Anthony Vega waits in the on-deck circle. Number 9 in the gray roadies for Long Island. And again, Anderson squares up what he wanted to be a strike. Worthington will disagree with him. De La Rosa asks for confirmation. He's granted that. And we await another. 2-1. Puckett ahead of the pitcher, Jonathan Albaladejo. Here he goes. Again, it's a little low. And De La Rosa wants that back. I think sometimes in a case like this where you're running into high counts and a few more walks are starting to come up, sometimes the catcher feels a little guilty there. De La Rosa is making the calls behind the plate. I've heard Ben Davis on the Phillies broadcast talk about that a lot, where catchers feel responsible.
Ben Davis, a former Atlantic League player with Camden.
The River Sharks, oh, there's another walk.
That's 4 out of the last 7 batters Albaladejo has walked. He had not walked more than 2 in any start prior to tonight.
Yeah,
now he's got to deal with Vega, 2 outs and a runner on.
It's a little odd. There is some stretching going on in the Barnstormers bullpen. We have activity. No throws have begun just yet. So we continue here again. A runner is on first for the second time in this inning, both of which have resulted thanks to walks. Albaladejo has given 4 passes today. 5 of you include the hit by pitch. And then Snyder was taken out of the game back in the first inning. Vega, the left-handed bat, swung over and missed for an 0-1 count. Albaladejo, as Dave mentioned earlier in today's game, will throw a lot of pitches in the strike zone, so these are some guilt-free swings from the opposition. They feel like they're going to make contact with it. It's a matter of where the ball is put into play or if it's put into play. Perhaps fouled back. 0-1. Here's the 1. Out it goes, down to the basement, and it's 1-1. Much like the score has been since the second inning. Both teams drove across a run there. The difference, Dan Lyons was able to score along with Casey Hobson, who was able to do that thanks to an RBI by Vladimir Frias, who has also exited the game. Both teams have lost a man. Snyder for the Ducks, Frias for the Barnstormers, Carlos Garcia in at short. Here's the pitch. And this a little wide and out for a 2-1 count.
This is a little bit worrisome with Albaladejo, and hopefully he'll be able to get out of this inning unscratched. But just when you look at the overall scope of the last 2 innings and the number of times he's missed the strike zone, you don't see him do that very often.
Less typical, he has went past 5 innings 6 of 7 times this season, including his last 3 starts. I'm not sure he's going to do that today.
Yeah, he can't find the strike zone right now at all. And that's a concern. Is it the ball he took off the hand back in the second inning?
That's a good point. We haven't even really talked about that. Last time out, he was against Long Island, June 17th, 6 innings pitched, 3 runs, 8 hits.
I mean, he is everywhere to these last 8 batters.
The erratic movement. And now there is throwing action. Hard to get a number from here. This pitch is smoked high and in the air to right center. This one might go out of there, and it is caught instead. Great play by Darian Sanford. He is able to get the Barnstormers out of a jam, and once again, Jonathan Albaladejo will live to tell about it. No run score, no hits. 2 men were aboard, 1 was left. 1-1, we go to the bottom of the 5th inning here at Clipper Magazine Stadium right after this.
We can't help but always want more, especially on the road. More horsepower, heightened handling, elevated design. Get more out of your drive with a Lexus IS. Bold styling, track-tuned handling, available 311 horsepower. Experience the exhilaration of the IS 350 and IS 300. Available in F-Sport and all-wheel drive. See Bobby Rahal Lexus in Mechanicsburg.
Enjoy weekends with the Barnstormers all season long. Every Friday evening home game will feature a different giveaway ranging from t-shirts to beach towels to backpacks. On Saturdays, enjoy the best entertainment doubleheader there is with Barnstormers baseball followed by fireworks. Sundays are fun days at the ballpark. Get autographs from some of your favorite Barnstormers players and play catch on the field before the game. Once the game is over, it's a Domino's Pizza Kids Base Run. Call 717-509-HITS to order your tickets or go to LancasterBarnstormers.com. And we'll see you at the ballpark.
Back at Clipper Magazine Stadium for the bottom half of the fifth inning. Yes, once again the Barnstormers have avoided danger. Andrew Mossberg's the play-by-play duties for this inning. Dave Collins returns to action for the sixth. He's still with me here on Farm Show Weekend at Clipper Magazine Stadium, which concludes tomorrow. Silo's birthday right here, a 1:05 start time to conclude the four-game set against the Long Island Ducks. Tickets are still available. Call 717-509-HITS or go to LancasterBarnstormers.com to secure your seats.
And the last time our fans will have a chance to watch this ball club at home or anywhere nearby, for that matter, for over a week.
Look, there are some very dedicated fans out there. I don't know that they have packed their bags and prepared for the flight to Texas. You have, or at least are going to. Have you packed your bags yet?
I packed it this morning for the most part.
Good for you, Dave. Oh, there's a nice hit from Sanford. Makes a good play to end the top half of the fifth. And a nice swing to start the bottom. He'll check back to first and then bobbled at first base is Ard. There is something in the glove of first baseman today, whether it be Casey Hobson or Taylor Ard or, well, I guess we can't say David Washington. He didn't really get a chance.
The one misconnection from Albalateo to Hobson, the error had to go to Albalateo because it was ruled that Hobson pulled his foot off the bag.
Right.
But I didn't see it.
Yeah, well, here comes Blake Galen, owner of a 13-game hitting streak, also owner of the Barnstormers' longest on-base streak. He did it a few years ago with 36 consecutive games reaching base, the 7-year veteran of Lancaster.
And he's had others that have been close to that. Right now it's amazing, and he hasn't extended it tonight. He has produced a run in 17 consecutive games.
That was a beauty of a stat. Here he might get the sacrifice over to second. He does. It's going to be 1-3 on the putout. Galen retired, but Sanford gets to scoring position.
Well, a swinging bunt. He'll be charged with an at-bat there. But it has the same effect as if he had laid the sacrifice down. Ryan Castile batting, one out, runner at second. These two ball clubs are doing everything but scoring tonight. The Ducks have had far more runners on. They've had 13 men reach the base paths. The Barnstormers are now on their 8th. Here in the fifth inning, Castile and Hobson with the opportunities here.
And the Ducks have reached now double digits in terms of players left on base. That's 10. Barnstormers are at 5. And this one by Castile lofted into shallow center. Coming over from right to touch up is Washington. And there are 2 down just like that. Now I have to wonder if you want to be more patient with your pitches because those are 2 quick outs you didn't want to give this team.
Only 57 pitches thrown by Jake Fisher.
That is very impressive.
He's going on a pace where he could go all 9 tonight.
Yeah, that's not going to be the case for
Albaladejo's crossed 100, and I think coming out. Now it's up to Casey Hobson if the Barnstormers are to score in this bottom half of the fifth inning.
My eye could be wrong. It looks like Jared Lakin is warming up. Left-hander for the Barnstormers in their bullpen. Going to steal third is Sanford. He gets there, kept his hand in. Yes.
35th stolen base of the year.
Derek Mosho was asked to see, but Sanford kept his hand on there. And you mentioned those base swipes continue to pile up for this guy.
You don't pick up a whole lot there if you're the Barnstormers.
No, you've got 2 outs.
He's going to score on a Casey Hobson base hit anyway.
Right.
But there's always the possibility of an error or a wild pitch.
Pitch called a strike right there. 1-1 to Casey Hobson, who is trying to get the go-ahead run in, as it has been a deadlock here today. From sunny skies to a cloudy sunset on a late evening here that has taken a while, but Casey Hobson looking to get his money worth. This one scalded just foul. And down the first base side, once again, the bullpen having some action, but this time not in the form of throwing pitches, trying to avoid some balls. 1-2. Well, 1-2 says the scoreboard. I swear I thought Bill just said 0-2. But we're going to go off what the scoreboard says. 1-2 to Hobson. This one is well outside.
And saved by Cabrera.
Yes, it has been. Talking about Jake Fisher, his first 16 pro games were in the Dodgers organization where he was drafted. Has not been in affiliated ball since. That was 2013. He spent 5 years in the Frontier League with the Windy City Thunderbolts. And as you mentioned, this Long Island team able to find some gems in the league hunts when it comes to the other independent associations. 2-2. Hobson will look. He may blink, but he does not bend. 3-2. It's another full count.
But is Worthington holding? Yeah, Bill Worthington's holding up 2-2.
Okay, so it is 2, and now the scoreboard's going to be reset. All right, so my apologies.
But I could swear there was a ball earlier.
I don't know. No comment, but I can comment on that.
Not going to matter.
Nope. Hobson swung. The ball was dropped by Cabrera. Then the throw over to Ard. 2-3 on the putout with a strikeout. The Barnstormers get no runs. They have one hit. One runner is left. It is 1-1. Thank you for allowing me to be your play-by-play voice for an inning. And we will return it to Dave Collins as the Barnstormers look to take the lead and hold on here in the 6th inning.
I'm a chef. Pleasing my patrons' palates is paradise. But lately, when I hear a cheer from the dining room, it's Keno from the Pennsylvania Lottery. Sure, it could be my veggie lasagna, but chances are it's customers picking numbers to win cash with drawings every 4 minutes. Keno's fun, exciting, and you can enjoy it as an appetizer or a main course. Hey, everything tastes better with winning. Keno, it's here. Played at your favorite bar or restaurant.
Players must be 18 or older. Please play responsibly. Benefits older Pennsylvanians every day.
Enjoy a weeknight with the Barnstormers and leave with your wallet largely intact. Come on out on Munchie Mondays for all-you-can-eat nachos, dogs, fries, popcorn, and soda for 2 hours. Or how about Koozie Tuesdays, where fans of legal age can enjoy $2 domestic drafts from 6:30 to 8. Bring your dog on Wiener Wednesdays and enjoy delicious dollar dogs as well. Or on Thrifty Thursday, popcorn is just $1, sodas are $2, and lawn seats are only $3. Call 717-509-HITS to order your tickets or go to LancasterBarnstormers.com. And we'll see you at the ballpark.
Jonathan Albaladejo somehow managed to dodge the arrows tonight, some of which he shot at himself with 4 walks in his own error. He gives up only 1 run in 5 innings. He does that on 6 hits. A hit batter, he only struck out 1. Jared Lakin will take over in the 6th inning to face Dan Lyons, Jordani Valdespin, and Emilio Bonifacio. Ross Peoples always tries to share the wealth in appearances among his relievers. Lakin is in to his 19th ball game. Granitz and Reynolds have been in 20. Steven Johnson, John Anderson, Matt Marksberry also in 18 ball games. Kevin Munson in 18, Scott Schumann in 16. So tonight, Lakin's number is drawn here in the 6th inning of a 1-1 ball game. Jared into the motion, his first offering to Lyons is low, and that skips up and gets Bill Worthington. Immediately, Anderson De La Rosa spins around, puts his arm around the home plate umpire. Jared Binner, the Barnstormers trainer, coming out to check in on him, and is Partners Derek Moshe and Nate Caldwell come in also. We had a scary incident earlier this year in Somerset when Frankie Arilli got a foul tip that jumped up and hit him in the throat.
Yeah.
I don't think that is the situation here. It looked to me that just may have gotten Worthington possibly in the knee. And he's down on the other one. 1 ball, no strikes. Meanwhile, on Dan Lyons, who has reached on an infield base hit and line to left. And again, we've only postulated that part of Albaladejo's control problems tonight might have been set up by him taking a shot off the hand back in the second inning. We'll never really know. But
yeah. That's an off-the-record question, I guess.
Yes, did that play a role? Meanwhile, Lakin is going to play some catch with Garcia, the shortstop.
Did you have a final pitch count on Albaladejo?
I believe it was 101 by the time he finally got out of that 5th inning.
Hey, you only allowed 1 run, though. You gave your team a chance to win.
The guy's a warrior. He knows how to pitch. He knows how to win games. Tonight, I mean, he was in trouble every time you turned around.
Yeah.
He was in danger, but he got 2 double plays. Long Island 1 for 10 with runners in scoring position. So through it all, he was able to keep them from striking big. Lakin gets a chance to throw another warm-up pitch or two here. It's a ball and no strikes on Dan Lyons. 1-1, top half of the 6th inning. And as we check the situation over in York, the Revs did get on the scoreboard, but that was after the Skeeters had broken open a 5-0 lead. And they're in the top of the 7th now with Sugar Land up 5-1. So you have to figure that's probably going in the win column for Sugar Land. The Barnstormers looking to match that here tonight, or the lead would be down to just a half a game going into play tomorrow. 1 ball and nothing on Lyons. Swung on, torched out the left. Trayvon Robinson has to pull up and play it on a bounce. Lyons with the 7th Long Island hit of the ball game tonight. Now you turn the lineup over to the left-handed batting Jordani Valdespin, who is 2 for 2 with a walk. Robinson could have tried to be heroic there, but decided to play it the safe route and hold up. Valdespin coming in. He has not been retired, nor has the man behind him, Emilio Bonifacio. Lakin is 1-2 with a 3.5 ERA. Here's the set. Valdespin gets a bunt down. It's a good one. That's going to be a base hit. Nobody can make the play.
Nope.
They surrounded it, and nobody could come up with it and make a play. A bunt single for Valdespin, and the Ducks are set up again. Runners at first and second, nobody out. Valdespin still has a perfect night.
Yeah, excellent.
Now how do you weave out of this?
Well, the question is, Albaladejo was able to weave out of it. Can Jared Lakin?
Bonifacio has 2 hits and a walk. Line single by Lyons, and then Valdespin looking just to sacrifice the runner along, dropped it down perfectly in the triangle among Lakin, De La Rosa, and Coronado. And even if somebody had gobbled it up right away, I'm not sure there was a play. They more or less looked at each other.
Yep.
Lyons at second, Valdespin the runner at first. The Ducks now with 8 hits, all singles. To Bonifacio, he drops a bunt down. This, though, is foul. It is 0-1.
Maybe trying something different here with just attempting a couple of bunts, seeing if they can get some runs across. I mean, here's the thing. They weren't able to get past Albaladejo. I think more so they weren't able to get past the Barnstormers' defense. So that has to remain. Darian Sanford saved a run with an excellent catch out to right center at the bottom, or the top of last inning.
Yeah, up against the wall and deep right center. If Vega pulls it around a little bit more, there would be no play on that, and we'd be trailing. There's a bunt popped up. Hobson will make the catch. That's out number 1. And Barnstormers almost collided there as well. And that probably fell under the guise of infield fly. It was popped up high enough. First and second with one out. Taylor Ard steps in. He's 0 for 2. But now facing a left-hander for the first time.
And I'll tell you what, that bunt is the kind of thing that I think has symbolized this night so far for Long Island. They get guys on, and then something odd happens, or they just aren't able to get the job done. That bunt was supposed to go 20 feet in the grass, not in the air.
One out, runners at first and second. Lakin to Ard, and the breaking ball misses the inside corner. Ball 1, no strikes. Barnstormers pitching tonight has struck out only one. That was Ford swinging all the way back in the first inning. Jake Fisher, meanwhile, has struck out one batter in each inning, 5 total. 1 ball, no strikes here to Ard, a slugger. Batting from the right side of the plate, the pitch is ball 2 off the inside corner. And now a 2-0 count, staring at Lakin.
Well, this is where the Barnstormers are just going to say, let's do what we've done the last 5 innings. We've avoided some things. Let's try it again.
Ard can't hold on the swing there. The appeal down to first base, and the Barnstormers would have barked if they hadn't been given that one.
I think
so.
So.
It was pretty obvious that Ard had gone 2-1.
There are some Long Island fans here. That surprised me a bit. I've seen some. I saw some on the concourse yesterday, too. A couple with Ducks shirts.
2 balls, 1 strike. 1 out in the inning. Lakin gets the signal from De La Rosa. Ground ball, third base. Coronado to Bortnick. Back to first. They turn the double play for the 3rd time tonight. And Jared Lakin wiggles out of his own jam here in the 6th. No runs, 2 hits, no errors, and the Ducks leave one more, another golden opportunity by the boards for the Long Island Ducks. The Barnstormers will come up in the bottom of the 6th, still tied at 1.
Learn from the pros right here in Lancaster. The Lancaster Barnstormers are offering 2 3-day-long youth clinics this summer with instruction on pitching, hitting, fielding, and base running. Each session, led by veteran professional players, will last from 9 until noon with lunch to follow. Choose from June 19th to 21st or July 24th to 26th. So learn what it takes to succeed on the field and off. Call the Barnstormers office at 717-509-HITS or go to LancasterBarnstormers.com. Space is limited. Act now.
Introducing the all-new Lexus RX 350L, designed for room. Room for a power-folding 3rd row. Room for up to 7. And room for the unexpected. The 3-row RXL. It's the RX with room for more. Experience the innovative RXL and RXL hybrid. See Bobby Rahal Lexus in Mechanicsburg.
RX 450HL arriving spring 2018.
Trayvon Robinson, Nate Coronado, and Carlos Garcia slated to face Jake Fisher as we head into the bottom of the 6th inning. Still somehow tied at 1. Neither side getting much done with runners in scoring position. Long Island has had the bigger threats along the way tonight. Trayvon Robinson scheduled to lead off here in the 6th. He is 1 for 2, a single to right center and a ground out to third. Lancaster's defense has turned 3 double plays, all in crucial spots, which I suppose is almost automatic when you're in a tie ball game. And here is Robinson trying to get something ignited for the Barnstormers. Fisher to the plate. Trayvon fouls it off. It's 0-1. Fisher had certainly respectable numbers during his time with the Windy City Thunderbolts. Won over the last 2 years, 19 games with them. The Ducks picked them up late last season, one of those September deals to fill in a roster heading toward the playoffs. And he threw a complete game victory against Somerset in the postseason. 1 ball, 1 strike here on Robinson. Defense fanned out against Trayvon. Fisher comes back, foul ball to the screen. It's 1-2. And we've mentioned that Jake Fisher has not been pressed into long counts tonight. The Barnstormers are swinging early. They've had a little bit of success with 6 hits, 5 singles, and a double. They've only drawn 1 walk, and you almost had the feeling that came with a purpose. Breaking ball is inside to Trayvon, 2-2. Fisher just threw his 66th pitch of the evening. Robinson awaits the 2-2 offering. Here's the motion and the pitch. He chased it, a swing and a miss. Shades of last night again, and now Fisher with a strikeout, his 6th. Nate Coronado to the plate. Coronado has had a pretty good idea against Fisher. He is lined out to the second baseman, and he is singled into right field. 1 out of 2 for Nate here tonight. Well, what is going to break this deadlock? The Barnstormers and Ducks with threat after threat after threat. But Lancaster hasn't had a significant threat with multiple runners on early in an inning since the second. Coronado lifts this out the center. It's carrying. Back on it goes Bonifacio. A long way back. He reaches out and he makes the catch on the warning track nearly 400 feet from the plate. Coronado gives it a ride, but not quite far enough. And with 2 men down, the batter will be Carlos Garcia, who is 0 for 0 with a sac bunt. At Fisher getting into a rhythm where he is motoring through the Barnstormers in a hurry. Long Island has put a lot of pressure on Lancaster pitching tonight, but the Ducks haven't been able to come up with a significant base hit. These clubs exchanged runs back in the second inning. A 2-out RBI single for Bonifacio, a 1-out RBI double for Frias. Now a strike to Garcia on the inside corner. It is 0-1. Lancaster has been out hit 8-6 in the ball game. Barnstormers with 2 errors to the Ducks 1. Long Island's had 5 control base runners, 4 walks and a hit batter to just 1 for the Barnstormers. Here's the 0-1 to Garcia. And a ball taken inside. 1-1 to Carlos. He inherited the shortstop position from Vladimir Frias earlier in the game tonight. And now Garcia trying to work his way out of a slump. He's just 2 out of his last 21. He takes low, and that is ball 2. Anderson De La Rosa waits on deck. The bench right now, we believe, is just Josh Bell. We haven't seen Rico Noel play in days. Line drive right at the second baseman, Valdespin. Some loud outs here in the bottom of the 6th, but still outs. Nothing across for the Barnstormers. The first 1-2-3 half inning of the night. We're through 6 now here at Clipper Magazine Stadium with the score, Lancaster 1 and Long Island 1.
Like craft beers, local wines? Well, the best place to be in Lancaster then is Clipper Magazine Stadium. That's right, all new for 2018 is the Broken Bat deck down the right field line. The Broken Bat will feature more than 20 local craft breweries and product from 2 local wineries. If something with a little more kick is your adult beverage of choice, a local distillery is part of the Broken Bat as well. Food will be sold off a pub-style menu, so get together, hang out with your friends, make some new ones, and enjoy a night of craft beer sampling along with a Barnstormers game.
AMT Concerts presents Rock at the Park Festival, Saturday, July 21st, featuring sets from Fuel, Eve 6, Sister Hazel, Long Beach Dub All-Stars, Fastball, and more. Rock at the Park, Saturday, July 21st, at Clipper Magazine Stadium, Lancaster. Tickets on sale now at rockatthepark.com.
We've got 6 innings in the books tonight. Long Island has picked up a run on 8 hits with an error and left 11. The Barnstormers 1 run on 6 hits with 2 errors. And paling in comparison, the Barnstormers have only stranded 6. Lou Ford leads off against Jared Lakend here in the 7th inning. Ford is 0 for 3 in the game tonight, including a couple of failures with the bases loaded. He struck out with the sacks full in the 1st inning, nobody out at that time. And then in the 4th inning, with the bases loaded and 2 gone, he had a soft liner right to the shortstop Garcia, ending the threat in the 4th. He reached on an error back in the 3rd inning. Lakend going to work on Ford, the motion, the pitch, and that is up for a ball, 1-0. David Washington on deck, the left-handed batting right fielder, and then the switch-hitting Ramon Cabrera. Here's the motion, 1-0 to the outside edge, and Ford batting at 1-1. Defense far spread out against Ford. Lakend comes back, skips it to the plate. That is ball 2, 2-1. 15 base runners for Long Island over 6 innings. And a lot of those runners have reached base early in those innings. 2 balls, 1 strike to Ford. Lakend goes back to work. The motion, the pitch is outside, and now a 3-1 count. Leadoff walks are never a good idea. Lakend ready to go. Here's the 3-1. Ford pops it up. May stay in play. Racing over Hobson. Leaning into his own dugout. He's got it. KC ended up with his glove more or less turned inside out as he approached the railing. Lakend bounces back from the 3-1 count and gets Lou Ford leading off this 7th inning. The batter now will be David Washington, the right fielder, 1 out of 2 with a walk tonight. Last night, the Barnstormers bullpen kept the club in the game. 3 shutout innings. John Anderson and Huáscar Brazoban. Anderson actually came in with a couple of runners on base. 1st and 3rd, nobody out. Did allow the man from 3rd to score on a double play grounder. Swing and a miss. Washington taking a monster cut there. It is 0-1. De La Rosa, Bortnick, and Sanford scheduled in the lower half of the 7th inning. Barnstormers for the 3rd time in the last 4 games thwarted by an opposing left-handed starting pitcher. 0-1, fastball is high. Washington standing in at a ball and a strike. Good crowd on hand tonight. Looking forward to seeing the attendance figure. My guess is somewhere around 6,500 for this Saturday night game with fireworks. 1-1. Washington takes a breaking ball for the 2nd strike. It is now 1-2. And again, I think the weather scared people. A lot of people not coming to the game tonight because of a bad forecast, not actual bad weather. 1-2. Now to Washington. Lakeland ready to serve it up. It's a breaking ball, swung on and missed. De La Rosa's got to gather it in and fire to first base. 2 up and 2 down in the top of the 7th. 4 in a row set down by Lakeland, and with 2 gone, it will be the catcher Cabrera who will turn around to bat from the right side. Cabrera is having a tough night. He's hit into 5 outs, 2 ground ball double plays, and 1 fly out to left field. Still knotted at 1, top of the 7th inning. It's been that way since the 2nd. Somewhat remarkable that we have not seen extra runs score. The pitch from Lakeland, a beauty, in for a strike on Cabrera. It is 0-1. Mentioned Lakeland with the 3.5 ERA. He has had a couple of outings where you just want to bang your head against the wall because he hasn't been able to buy a break. Swing and a miss as Cabrera went lunging after it. No balls and 2 strikes. But you talk to Ross Peoples, and he thinks as much of Lakeland as he thinks of anybody else in that bullpen. It's quite a crop. And Brazoban, once he finally got here with his visa issues from the Dominican Republic, has just added another element. 0-2. Lakeland goes to work, and it's low. Stopped by De La Rosa, ball 1. Cabrera able to take there. Somebody in this starting lineup is going to have to come through for the Barnstormers tonight. And hope that the pitching holds. 1 ball, 2 strikes to Cabrera. Lakeland deals. That's just tipped foul. And we will stay at 1 ball and 2 strikes. Mention Cabrera, another member of the Ducks club with major league experience. 3 teams seem to have most of that big league experience: Long Island, New Britain, and Sugar Land. Cabrera, catcher out of Caracas, Venezuela, swings and misses. Lakeland from the Houston, Texas area sets the side down in order in the top half of the 7th inning. A positive outing for the Barnstormers left-hander. We are at the stretch now, and as it's been for quite some time, it is Lancaster 1 and Long Island 1.
You're totally probably safe to ride on your spare for what, 6, maybe 9 months?
Don't trust the wrong advice. Get the right tires at the right price right away. It's what we've been doing at Jack Williams Tire right here in Pennsylvania since our family started this business back in 1929. Because doing things the right way is just the Williams way. Get the right tires right now at jackwilliams.com.
Lancaster Bible College has been around since 1933, but did you know that they offer degrees in much more than just Bible? LBC offers degrees in criminal justice, business, professional counseling, and more, as well as graduate and seminary degrees in areas like Christian care, chaplaincy, education, and leadership studies. To learn more about LBC and the programs they offer, visit lbc.edu. That's lbc.edu.
The Barnstormers have to wonder if they could pick up Jake Fisher, borrow this guy for the next week, and take him down to Texas. He has dominated the Sugar Land Skeeters. He has thrown shutout baseball twice against Pete Incaviglia's club, a total of 15 innings on 10 hits with 17 strikeouts. Barnstormers, of course, on the way down to first Houston Hobby Airport and then about a 45-minute or so drive to Sugar Land, a 7-game series beginning on Monday, and that is going to determine the first half title in the Atlantic League. Pretty much looking like whoever wins that series is going to win the half. The Barnstormers, if they can win tonight, can still set themselves up where they could win it by taking just 3 out of those 7 games. Anderson De La Rosa, Tyler Bortnick, and Darian Sandford to face Fisher. Here in the bottom of the 7th inning, the Barnstormers trying to piece together an offense. Fisher has retired 6 in a row since the leadoff single by Sandford back in the 5th inning. Lancaster has been able to get some runners into scoring position, but never actually building that huge second and third, one out, first and second, nobody out type of opportunity since the 2nd inning. De La Rosa has struck out twice, once swinging, once looking, and he takes one here onto the outside corner. It is 0-1, just the 74th pitch of the ball game from Fisher. He could go all 9 here. He's gone 8 twice on the season. The 0-1, De La Rosa swings and tags this deep to left. Vega will go over, and he'll still have room to make the catch. That ball didn't travel at all for De La Rosa. One man retired, Tyler Bortnick stepping in. Bortnick is 0 for 2. When Anderson hit that, I thought it was good for a couple of bases, but Vega just angled over and had no trouble making that grab. He didn't even have to ultimately go back for it. Bortnick steps in with Sandford on deck. What part of the batting order might come through for the Barnstormers in this game? A called strike on Bortnick. It's 0-1. Coronado is the only guy who has swung the bat well against Fisher more than once tonight. Bortnick with a foul ball off to the right. Now to play, it's 0-2. To give you an idea of the type of game Fisher has going, that was just his 76th pitch. He has missed the strike zone 25 times. That seems a little bit higher than the overall numbers would indicate. He seems to constantly be ahead in the count. 0-2, saws Bortnick back off the plate. Ball 1 and 2 strikes. Jake Fisher, certainly an opportunity to go all 9 here tonight. 1-2, and a Bortnick off speed into the dirt. Tyler lays off, and it's 2-2. A 1-1 ball game, bottom of the 7th. Certainly looks like Sugar Land is going to pick up a win tonight. Skeeters up big over the York Revolution when we last looked, and it's now 7-1 in the 8th inning. Southern Maryland, meanwhile, 5-4 over Somerset. They're in the top of the 6th at TD Bank Park. Long Island looking for more help out of the Blue Crabs. Ball 3 is low here to Bortnick. A chance for him to reach base. He has taken the count to 3-2. Fisher has walked only 1. Here's the payoff pitch. Bortnick swings and he misses. And that is strikeout number 7 for Jake Fisher. We'll turn the lineup over. Darian Sandford to the plate, 1 for 3. Well, the Barnstormers continue to have fits with these opposing left-handed starters. And in between, David Kubiak pitched very well. From the right side. First offering to Sandford. He checks, but the pitch was there. Strike 1. It'll be the 4th quality start in the last 5 games, the 5th in the last 7. If you want to go back, Perry pitched 6 shutout innings against Lancaster last Sunday. is to continue that idea of the difficulties we're having against left-handed starters. 0-2, and Sandford nearly hit by it. Ball one is inside, a ball and 2 strikes. Lancaster did get to the Road Warriors left-handers a while back. Sandford pulls the trigger and misses. Barnstormers are just getting over anxious. The same plan that Perry used last night, working tonight for Fisher. He has now struck out 8. We have reached the end of the 7th inning, still tied at 1.
We are all the way out here in right field on fence.
Localflavor.com, local flavor. Localflavor.com, local flavor.
Excuse me, are you saying localflavor.com?
Oh, yeah, it's where I save big bucks on all kinds of things. Home improvement projects, dining out, family fun, electronics, jewelry, clothing. I even bought my wife a fancy spa package for half price.
Half price?
Yep, you know all the deals you find in Clipper Magazine.
I love Clipper Magazine.
Well, they're all on localflavor.com too. And you can get them right on your phone thanks to localflavor.com's mobile app. Here, take a look.
Well, this app is amazing. Look at all these restaurants, amusement parks, car washes, fitness centers. This is worth sharing about.
Exactly. Localflavor.com online, the Local Flavor mobile app, and Clipper Magazine together. It's like a triple play.
Do the cheer again. I'm in.
Localflavor.com, local flavor. Come on, everybody! Localflavor.com, local flavor. Localflavor.com, local flavor.
Scott Schumann on for the Barnstormers here in the 8th inning. A couple of very successful frames for Jared Lakin. He gave up base hits to the first 2 men he faced, rallied to retire 5 in a row, including a double play in there. Struck out 2 last inning. So he keeps the game at 1-1. Schumann takes over in the 8th to face Puckett, Vega, and Lyons. The Barnstormers will still be seeing Jake Fisher once we get to the bottom of the 8th with 2 left-handed hitters scheduled. And Fisher has gotten better as this game has gone along. He has now retired 9 in a row. Barnstormers have not had any kind of a threat since Sandford got the third base back in the 5th inning. Nobody could pick him up. Here's Puckett. He is 0 for 2 with a walk tonight. Line to third back in the 2nd inning on one of the great defensive plays we've seen in this game. Coronado helping out Albaladejo there. First pitch from Schumann, a strike call. It's 0-1. Imagine going from Albaladejo to Schumann. You pick up 10 miles an hour.
Yeah, one of the flamethrowers in the Barnstormers bullpen.
Here's the 0-1 pitch. Breaking ball, grounded foul past Kevin Baez. 2 quick strikes on Puckett. Schumann, a one-time Long Island Duck, probably more well known before coming to Lancaster as being part of a Bridgeport ball club. He has been marvelous in his 2 seasons here. 0-2 to Puckett. Right-handed batter digs in. Schumann fires high and tight. Perhaps putting a little bit of a scare into the right-handed batter. That looked like a pitch with a purpose. It is ball 1.
By the way, I had to step out of the broadcast to grab some food because it's a 1-1 game. I had no idea how long we might be here tonight. But the way this is going.
Schumann just misses there. And it's 2-2 on Puckett.
Still, I'd love to get an attendance figure for tonight. Do we have that?
We do not.
Not yet.
2 balls, 2 strikes to the leadoff batter here in the 8th inning. Anthony Vega, who almost broke the tie back in the 5th, waits on deck. Schumann ready to go. Here's his 2-2. Foul back. Puckett stays in.
That one looked like it ran inside on Puckett a little bit towards the hands. He was able to just get it back. At this point, you know, I want to say one swing could make the difference. Technically, it can. We all know that. But other than that one hit that was picked up by Sandford back in the 5th off Vega's bat, I really haven't seen anything close.
Here's a 2-2 offering. He got him with the high heat. Down goes Puckett. Barnstormers strike out their 4th tonight, 1 away. Here is Vega. He is 0 for 3. Now the Barnstormers got a couple of good licks in the bottom of the 6th. Coronado flied out to the warning track just to the left of dead center. And Garcia lined right at the second baseman, Valdespine. But outside of that, there have been very few even whispers against Jake Fisher the last 3 or 4 innings.
I was talking to Joey Greer, our guy who's scoring today, and one of the things he told me about Fisher is that this guy somehow ends up being so deceptive, but he's not a hard thrower
at all. But that has been very effective against the Barnstormers, as we've seen. Perry, not a hard thrower either. Well, the numbers, the last 4 games, the Barnstormers have faced a left-handed starting pitcher now, 26 innings, 18 hits, 5 runs, and 29 strikeouts.
Yeah, when Joey told me that, I asked him if he was a knuckleballer, because I thought that was kind of a knuckleballer. They don't have a lot of speed, but they're, it's just enough. Wow.
Schumann hit the mascot. Well, not really, but think back to Bull Durham. You get the idea. All the way to the padding on the fly. 1 ball, 1 strike to Vega.
Shouldn't hit the mascot. That's Silo. Silo's got a birthday to celebrate tomorrow.
Don't want Silo laid up.
Any at his birthday, do we see other mascots here?
Very often. I don't know what the plans are for tomorrow. I think we'll probably see some others. Vegas swings and misses. It's 1-2.
I asked a question, too, to Joey. Has the Philly Fanatic ever been here?
In our early days, yes.
Okay.
Yeah. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Used to also have him in Hagerstown and Bowie and a lot of places.
Yeah. He was in Japan earlier this year.
Here comes the 1-2. Schumann out of the full line. Blows him away. Swing and a miss. Strike 3. Here are some Scott Schumann numbers as of late. That is his 21st strikeout in his last 11 1/3 innings. He is not allowed a run in that span. 4 hits and 2 walks. 2 away here. Dan Lyons coming in 2 for 3. No Barnstormer tonight has more than 1 hit. Lyons and Bonifacio with 2 for the Ducks, and Valdespine has 3. He's on deck. First pitch strike in on Lyons. It's 0-1. Galen, Castile, and Hobson are due up in the bottom of the 8th inning. Fisher's still going to be out there, so one of the left-handed batters is going to have to solve the left-hander or will go to the 9th tied. And I don't know if Ross will want to use Matt Reynolds there or not. He probably will. Check swing and a foul, 0-2. Schumann a chance to strike out the side here in the top of the 8th inning. Early, this was a mess of runners left on base and neither team being able to drive in a run. Lately, it's settled into dominant pitching.
Yeah, it has.
No balls and 2 strikes to Lyons. Schumann ready to go. Up and in with the heater. That is ball 1, 1-2.
Yeah, and those first few innings, it felt like everything was just taking forever. But then when we got to the 5th, really even the 4th, I thought, the bottom half of the 4th and more, things just started blowing by. And now we're at a point where if the game did end in 9 innings, it could end at a reasonable time.
Here's a 1-2. Lyons swings and misses. 3 straight strikeouts. It took 14 pitches. Scott Schumann sends the Ducks back to the field, and the Barnstormers back to the plate. Will go to the bottom of the 8th, tied at 1.
We can't help but always want more, especially on the road. More horsepower, heightened handling, elevated design. Get more out of your drive with a Lexus IS. Bold styling, track-tuned handling, available 311 horsepower. Experience the exhilaration of the IS350 and IS300. Available in F-Sport and all-wheel drive. See Bobby Rahal Lexus in Mechanicsburg.
Enjoy weekends with the Barnstormers all season long. Every Friday evening home game will feature a different giveaway ranging from t-shirts to beach towels to backpacks. On Saturdays, enjoy the best entertainment doubleheader there is with Barnstormers baseball followed by fireworks. Sundays are fun days at the ballpark. Get autographs from some of your favorite Barnstormers players and play catch on the field before the game. Once the game is over, it's a Domino's Pizza Kids Base Run. Call 717-509-HITS to order your tickets or go to LancasterBarnstormers.com. And we'll see you at the ballpark.
Jake Fisher trying to become the second opposing starter to go beyond 7 1/3 against the Barnstormers this year. Zach Groats, in what at the time was a spot start, had the complete game shutout for York back here on a Thursday in May. And earlier this week, David Kubiak went 7 1/3. Blake Galen, Ryan Castile, and Casey Hobson scheduled in the 8th inning. Nobody has budged in the Long Island bullpen. This ball game has belonged to Fisher, and he's gotten better as this game has gone on. Lancaster scored a run in the 2nd inning. Singles by Casey Hobson and Trayvon Robinson, and an RBI double by Vladimir Frias. Now to Blake Galen, big curveball for a strike. It's 0-1. Fisher dissecting the zone with that pitch over the last few innings. Galen tonight has singled. He has reached on an error, and he has bounced to the hill. 1 out of 3. He does have a stolen base. Swing and a miss here. It is 0-2. Fisher has been incredible the last 3 innings. He has Galen 0-2 with Castile waiting on deck. Top of the order scheduled for the Ducks in the 9th. Valdespine, Bonifacio, and Ard.
What's his pitch count at? I've been having so many internet problems tonight here.
I have him in the upper 80s.
Wow. So, I mean, he could...
That's 86. 0-2. Fisher goes to work on Galen. The breaking ball misses inside. I'm not sure Galen was sure. A lot of late break on that pitch. Fisher really has a touch the last several innings. Ball 1, 2 strikes to Galen. Blake has extended his hit streak to 13 games. And a little chip shot here over the third baseman Puckett. Galen's on to start off the bottom of the 8th. Great piece of hitting by Blake Galen. And how often do we say that? A lot.
I think so.
He is on. Ryan Castile comes to the plate. Castile is 0 for 3 tonight. And for the first time in a bit, Castile has gone into a mild slump, nothing dramatic, but he is only 3 out of his last 20, no extra base hits. Go ahead run on base here in the 8th inning, just the 7th hit for the Barnstormers tonight. To Castile, a strike, pumped to the inside corner, it's 0-1. The Barnstormers have not been able, truthfully, to solve Fisher. Galen taking him to the opposite field for a single for the 2nd time here tonight. 0-1 to Castile. A lob throw to first. Galen is back in. Hobson on deck and then Robinson. And finally, there is action in the bullpen for the Long Island Ducks. I don't know if that's Dennis O'Grady or Colton Murray we saw last night. Fly ball out to center. It will not carry enough. Back is Bonifacio to make the catch. Tagging Galen. He's going to move ahead to second base. So at least a productive out. The runner moves into scoring position. Castile is just in a rut where he is flying out at least every other at bat. Earlier this year, and perhaps some other night, that ball might have carried the distance. But Bonifacio makes the catch in front of the warning track. Casey Hobson steps in, 1 for 2 with a walk. He went down swinging against Fisher back in the 5th inning. Galen gets to second base with 1 out. He's going to take off for third. They'll throw behind him and now ahead of him. And the throw gets away from the third baseman Puckett. It may have bounced off Galen. He left way too soon there, but Fisher instead of going to third, threw behind him to second. Dan Lyons tried to relay that throw back to Puckett. It would have been an unusual 1-6-5 out had it happened. But with the shift on against Hobson, Galen thought he had the opportunity, and he makes it.
This is a huge opportunity now for Casey Hobson. Biggest at-bat of the game for the Barnstormers.
Infield draws in. Here's the pitch. Casey swings and misses. He went for it all right there. But all Hobson has to do here is hit a ball to the left side of the infield pretty much.
Yep.
He's got a huge gap between Puckett and Lyons.
Or
up the middle.
Take a sac fly, too.
No balls and a strike. Here's the pitch to Hobson. Fouled back. It is 0-2. Neither one of these teams has been able to hit with runners in scoring position tonight.
Yeah.
Both clubs have floundered driving in a runner from third with fewer than 2 outs. And Hobson with the opportunity right now. Fisher has him, though, at 0-2.
And you can hear the crowd starting to get louder here at Clipper Magazine Stadium.
The 0-2 pitch, breaking ball, popped up. Lyons searching the skies for it. He'll make the catch, and now it's up to Robinson. And Fisher will be going after Robinson, not Coronado. Coronado, the one guy who has had a clue the entire night.
Yeah, but Trayvon Robinson, this is kind of his time of the game to sort of shine. Those late innings, he's had some magic on that bat before. He also had it in the glove a couple times a few weeks ago. We'll see if in the last night home game in the month of June can be a good one for Trayvon.
Galen at third with 2 outs. 1-1 our score, bottom of the 8th inning.
Boy, we need a hit.
It's up to Robinson. The pitch, lined up the middle. Barnstormers lead. Robinson comes through again. Trayvon Robinson with an RBI single, scoring Blake Galen from third. It's 2-1 Lancaster. And Coronado will step in. That will bring Kevin Baez out of the dugout and probably will be the end of the night for Jake Fisher because Coronado has hit him pretty well. A huge hit for Trayvon Robinson here in the 8th inning. He has come through so often in the late innings here in the month of June. That will be all for Fisher. He should not hang his head. He pitched marvelously for 7 2/3 innings. Robinson with a single into center field breaks the deadlock. Now Nate Coronado will be facing, I believe it's Dennis O'Grady coming on in relief. We'll be back in just a moment.
Localflavor.com, local flavor. Localflavor.com, local flavor.
Excuse me, are you saying localflavor.com?
Oh, yeah, it's where I save big bucks on all kinds of things. Home improvement projects, dining out, family fun, electronics, jewelry, clothing. I even bought my wife a fancy spa package for half price.
Half price?
Yep, you know all the deals you find in Clipper Magazine.
I love Clipper Magazine.
Well, they're all on localflavor.com too. And you can get them right on your phone thanks to localflavor.com's mobile app. Here, take a look.
Well, this app is amazing. Look at all these restaurants, amusement parks, car washes, fitness centers. This is worth sharing about.
Exactly. Localflavor.com online, the Local Flavor mobile app, and Clipper Magazine together. It's like a triple play.
Do the cheer again. I'm in.
Localflavor.com, local flavor. Come on, everybody! Localflavor.com, local flavor. Localflavor.com, local flavor.
The reprisal of a matchup the Barnstormers won last Sunday afternoon at Bethpage Ballpark. Nate Coronado against Dennis O'Grady with the bases loaded, and the Ducks leading 3-1 at the time. Coronado with a 2-run double to dead center field over the head of Daniel Fields. Coronado steps in here with the Barnstormers this time ahead, 2-1. Trayvon Robinson, the runner at first base, 2 outs. Coronado was a loud 1 for 3 off the starter Fisher. He lined to second, he singled to right, and he flied to the warning track in center in his 3 at-bats. We'll see if Robinson takes off here. Trayvon 7 for 9 stealing. The Barnstormers have been successful on their 3 steal attempts of the game. The last one nearly backfired. And now Coronado drives the ball to right center field. That is into the gap and bouncing off the wall, and it gets away from the outfielders. Robinson will score. Coronado steams for third. He's got a triple, and it's 3-1.
Great stuff.
Last year it was Casey Hobson. This year it's Nate Coronado, the undoing of Dennis O'Grady. RBI triple for Coronado. Now a 3-1 ball game, a little bit of breathing room, and the batter will be Carlos Garcia. Slammed to right center field by Coronado. That's his power alley, and Bonifacio went out to make the play, and the ball bounced a little funny off the vinyl and got away from the center fielder as Coronado makes it all the way to third.
First pitch of this game was 6:37 p.m., and since then we have been wondering, when is something going to break through? We saw bases loaded for Long Island to start the game in the first. Nothing came of it. We saw the Barnstormers get guys on. Nothing came of it. Finally, what a great bottom of the 8th this team has had so far.
Garcia swings and fouls it off his foot. No balls and a strike. Coronado at third, 2 away. The book is closed on Fisher. 7 2/3 innings, 8 hits. He gave up 3 runs, all earned, walked 1, and struck out 8. The biggest mistake Jake Fisher made tonight was wheeling to throw to second on Gailen and not either getting him in the rundown or throwing to third base.
Yep.
That set up this whole inning. If they get Gailen there, none of this happens.
Yep.
No balls, 1 strike to Garcia. Carlos rolls a foul toward his own dugout. Quickly, O'Grady has him at 0-2.
Yeah, because when Gailen got, when Gailen got to second, there's on that Robinson chip shot, I don't think Gailen would have scored from second to home.
With 2 outs, he probably does.
You think so?
He probably does,
shot?
but they should have had Gailen out.
Right.
That's my point. Is he should have been out in that situation, but Fisher, by throwing to second, opened the door for Blake to get to third safely.
Right.
The throw did get away from Lyons to Puckett. They still had a shot. 0-2 offering upstairs. Garcia bats at 1-2. Carlos is sacrificed, and he is lined to second. Those at bats from the right side of the plate. 9 hits now for the Barnstormers in the 3-1 lead in the bottom of the 8th inning. They'll need 3 outs.
I'm a believer of better late than never, Dave.
3 outs in the top of the 9th to stay a game and a half up on Sugarland. To Garcia, breaking ball. He stays with it, fouls it off. We continue at a ball and 2 strikes. I pretty much penciled tonight in as a W for the Skeeters. It's a little closer, but they're in the top of the 9th now. Sugarland up 7-3.
Road Warriors with another 1-run loss to New Britain. They have had so many 1-run losses this season.
They have. And that's the disadvantage of being the visiting team all the time.
Yeah.
1 ball, 2 strikes to Garcia. Coronado off third. That's ball 2 away on the fastball from O'Grady. Southern Maryland leads Somerset 5-4 in the bottom of the 7th inning. If the scores hold, neither race will change, with 1 more game whittled off the schedule. 2 balls, 2 strikes to Garcia. Swing and a miss here.
Wow, what flew off there?
He goes down on strikes, but Lancaster picks up 2 big 2-out runs. 3 hits, no errors, and 1 man left on base. Now it's up to Matt Reynolds. We'll go to the 9th inning, 3-1 Lancaster.
I'm a chef. Pleasing my patrons' palates is paradise. But lately, when I hear a cheer from the dining room, it's Keno from the Pennsylvania Lottery. Sure, it could be my veggie lasagna, but chances are it's customers picking numbers to win cash with drawings every 4 minutes. Quinoa's fun, exciting, and you can enjoy it as an appetizer or a main course. Hey, everything tastes better with winning. Quinoa, it's here. Played at your favorite bar or restaurant.
Players must be 18 or older. Please play responsibly. Benefits older Pennsylvanians every day.
Enjoy a weeknight with the Barnstormers and leave with your wallet largely intact. Come on out on Munchie Mondays for all you can eat nachos, dogs, fries, popcorn, and soda for 2 hours. Or how about Koozie Tuesdays, where fans of legal age can enjoy $2 domestic drafts from 6:30 to 8. Bring your dog on Wiener Wednesdays and enjoy delicious dollar dogs as well. Or on Thrifty Thursday, popcorn is just $1, sodas are $2, and lawn seats are only $3. Call 717-509-HITS to order your tickets or go to LancasterBarnstormers.com. And we'll see you at the ballpark.
It's been another tense one between the Lancaster Barnstormers and the Long Island Ducks, and the Ducks get the top of the order up against Matt Reynolds here in the 9th inning. Reynolds is 0-1 with a dozen saves and a 3.26 ERA. 17 hits in 19 and a third innings. He has walked 7. He has struck out 16. Of course, most of the damage done to him has been by the New Britain Bees. He has had all kinds of problems with them. Against the Ducks, 4 appearances and 3 saves. So Reynolds facing Jordani Valdespin, who has not been retired tonight. He is 3 for 3 with a walk and a stolen base in the game. Lancaster finally breaking the deadlock in the bottom of the 8th. An RBI single by Robinson and a triple by Coronado. Valdespin pulls off a bunt, takes a strike from Reynolds. It's 0-1. 6'5" left-hander from St. Charles, Illinois, now living in the Nashville, Tennessee area. Longtime major leaguer Matt Reynolds. 1 strike in on Valdespin. So important to try and keep him off the bases, and they won't. He goes through the left side. Valdespin is 4 for 4. Runner on, Emilio Bonifacio will step in right-handed. Well, that's just a gorgeous piece of hitting. You can't do it better than that.
No, you can't. No, you can't. Just find your holes and plug in.
He is 17 for 35 against the Barnstormers now.
Do have an announcement, Dave. In the meantime, I think we did break our attendance record. You can let me know. 6,748.
No, shy of opening night.
What was opening night?
69-27.
Second best, though.
Second best for the year. Here is Emilio Bonifacio, 2 for 3 with a run batted in.
Big thanks to all the fans that came out tonight.
Reynolds to the plate. Bonifacio shows bunt, takes upstairs, ball 1 and no strikes. Just such a beautiful piece of hitting by Valdespin. The Barnstormers can't find a way to get him out. He doesn't hit the ball hard typically, but he constantly either punches the ball through the infield, bounces it over the infielders, bounces it, and it stays in the infield, and he beats it out. It's been frustrating. 1-0. Bonifacio gets ball 2, high and outside. Hold on to your hats. This game is not over.
4 singles for Valdespin along with a walk. Stolen base, he has been very good today. You mentioned it. That's why he's your leadoff hitter.
Bonifacio has reached base 3 times. Ducks now have their 9th hit of the game. Valdespin leads off first. 2 balls, no strikes on Bonifacio. There is a strike to the outer edge. Make it 2-1. Barnstormers need 3 outs without the Ducks scoring twice.
Yep. Yeah, avoid getting them to score twice. Definitely don't let them get more than that, because then you're going to face K-Rod. We know how that goes.
Here's the 2-1 pitch. Line drive, left field, sinking quickly, down for a base hit. 2 runners on, nobody out. The Ducks have been here before, seemingly all night.
That's a positive for us. Let's try and be optimistic here.
Taylor Ard will step to the plate. He is 0 for 3, grounded into a double play back in the 6th inning.
11.
Do they have him bunt?
Yeah, maybe.
Scott Schumann struck out the side in the 8th.
11 runners have been left on base for the Long Island Ducks tonight, so that is working in the favor of the Barnstormers.
Well, the Barnstormers need to get through this inning with one of these 2 stranded.
Yeah.
Valdespin at second, Bonifacio at first. They have combined been retired only once in this game.
Previous 8 batters were retired for Long Island prior to this inning.
2 runners on, nobody out. Taylor Ard has significant power. Reynolds to the plate. Ard looks at a breaking ball. That is strike one.
Tell you what, though, Matt Reynolds is in this position for a reason. He's been the Barnstormers' ninth inning guy. This is his inning. He knows that. And the best closers are the ones that don't struggle with this adversity. You have runners on first and second, sure. Well, that double play is an option. So is getting 3 outs and ending this game.
0-1 pitch, high and outside. 1 ball, 1 strike. Ard hit 30 home runs in the Frontier League in 2015. And out of there, the Miami Marlins signed him, and he spent a couple of years in their organization. Hit .215 with 12 homers for AA Jacksonville a year ago. 1 ball, 1 strike. Reynolds to the plate. That's topped foul. Make it 1-2. Designated hitter Lou Ford is on deck.
Yep.
He is 0 for 4 in the game.
Almost one of those things you worry when facing Lou, especially knowing he's 0 for 4, because this is a guy who doesn't do that very often against Lancaster. And much like we were talking throughout the game about something's got to give, something's going to break, one team's eventually going to get a lead, you almost wonder, can the same be said from an individual standpoint for Lou Ford? He's 0 for 4, something's got to give.
Runners lead off first and second. You've got to be careful of the double steal here as well. To Ard, the pitch is low for ball 2. 2 balls and 2 strikes.
Fans on the edge of their seats.
As are we. Sugarland 7-3 over York.
Is that final now?
Checking. And it is.
All right, so.
Well, the Barnstormers need to hold on here. The lead will be down to a half a game.
Absolutely. And don't think for a second that some of those, if not all of those guys from Sugarland are looking right now at their Atlantic League website to make sure.
Here's a 2-2 pitch, popped up, first base side. Will it stay in play? De La Rosa over? Nope. It's behind the dugout.
Yep.
Ard will continue to bat at 2-2. When Reynolds has had trouble, it has been here at home. Of course, realistically, that was just 2 nights in a row. Tough to establish a trend off of that.
Is it hard? Do you think for these guys it gets harder too when you have a capacity crowd like this? You have a ton of people here?
No, I don't think so.
These
guys played in front of crowds in the major leagues.
Major leagues, yeah.
2-2. And to Ard, high pop-up foul again out of play. He won't go down. Southern Maryland still leading Somerset 5-4. They're in the top of the 8th inning. The races could tighten up if this game flips here in the 9th inning.
Well, let's hope for not.
2 balls, 2 strikes. The count on Ard. He'll back away.
This game about to hit the 3-hour mark. So I think given what the first 4 innings are, we're lucky that it's at that time and not 3.5 hours at this point. It could go further depending on the outcome of this top half.
Reynolds ready to go. He'll bluff Valdespin back to second base. Valdespin with the ball punched into left field through the hole between Coronado and Garcia, and then Bonifacio, the sinking liner, into left field. Action has started in the bullpen for the Long Island Ducks. Here's the 2-2. Ard looks at ball 3 just low. Bill Worthington would not give Matt Reynolds the call on that one.
That is K-Rod, Francisco Rodriguez warming up for the Ducks.
Full count pitch coming to Ard.
Getting prepared just in case. Matt Reynolds looks to spoil that warm-up.
Reynolds has to throw a strike here, but he can't throw a fat one. Ard can hit the ball a long way. The payoff pitch, breaking ball again, popped up foul. Reynolds could certainly use one of those to stay in play. Reynolds definitely not the quintessential closer, but he's done a very good job here. Three balls, 2 strikes to Ard. Runners lead off first and second. Pivotal pitch coming. It is smashed foul to the Long Island dugout off the fencing. We remain at 3-2 as the tension mounts here in the top of the 9th inning.
Everybody's okay in the Ducks dugout. My goodness, that one was scorched towards them.
3-2, the continuing count to the first baseman, Ard.
Crowd is into this game, but they are quiet now. It is a tension-filled at-bat.
3-2 once more. Reynolds looks back. Here's the payoff. Got him swinging. Big first out. Ard may have gone up out of the zone on that one. One away, and Lou Ford stepping in. Ford is 0 for 4 tonight. Valdespin still at second. Bonifacio still at first with one huge out posted on the board. Ard striking out. 7 strikeouts for Lancaster pitching tonight. 6 for the bullpen in 3 1/3 innings. Ford digs in. Infield at double play depth here. The Reynolds pitch is upstairs for ball 1, 1-0. The outfielders are in the no doubles. An extra base hit could tie the game.
Reynolds' 18th pitch of this inning coming up.
The 1-0 on Ford. Pulled to left field. It's deep. Robinson going back. He's got room and makes the catch. Tagging off second is Valdespin. He'll advance to third. That doesn't pick up a lot for the Ducks. Ford with a ball that's probably out of Bethpage ballpark, but just a long fly out here. 2 men down. David Washington stands between the Barnstormers and the retention of a 1.5 game lead.
It's probably over the arch nemesis in Peoples Bank Park as well, I'd say.
I think it's probably off the arch nemesis. I don't know that was high enough.
Maybe. Oh, that's true too. Yeah, you have to remember that that height factor.
Reynolds against Washington.
Tell you what, Lou Ford had a rough night here. That was his best piece of hitting, though.
Runners are at the corners with 2 outs. And the reason you want Valdespin to third is so Bonifacio might try and steal here.
We will see.
A ball is upstairs to Washington, 1-0.
If the Barnstormers win this game, Dave, this is just be thankful in some ways for how many opportunities they gave Long Island.
Reynolds trying to end it against Washington. The 1-0 pitch, breaking ball there. It's 1-1.
Unbelievable that we're in a 3-1 ball game when you think of all the base runners on both sides here. Credit the defense, credit the pitchers for buckling down when they had to. Once again, another great game between these two teams.
1 ball, 1 strike to Washington. Fastball is low. Reynolds sped that up in case Bonifacio was running there. 2 balls and a strike. The catcher, Ramon Cabrera, waits on deck. A switch hitter, he would bat right-handed, as he did against Jared Lakins back in the 7th inning.
Cabrera hit into 2 double plays already in this game. He won't be given that option in this one. Just 1 out away from a Barnstormers win.
Washington 2-1 pitch, popped up foul. Reynolds has the Ducks down to a final strike. It is 2-2. This, like just about every game between these 2 ball clubs this season, has been nerve-wracking.
Barnstormers are 13-7 against the Liberty Division. They started out the year 10-0, have a chance for their 14th win, but it's more than just that. This is a huge opportunity here.
2-2 to the right fielder, David Washington. Reynolds to the plate. He got him swinging. The Barnstormers hold on, and they still lead by 1.5. Great escape by Matt Reynolds here in the 9th. Great escape by the Barnstormers pitchers all night long. Lancaster wins it. The lead remains at 1.5 games. The Barnstormers are now assured they will go to Texas, leading the division. We'll be back with the line totals on tonight's ball game in just a moment. The final score, the Lancaster Barnstormers 3 and the Long Island Ducks 1.
Learn from the pros right here in Lancaster. The Lancaster Barnstormers are offering 2 3-day-long youth clinics this summer with instruction on pitching, hitting, fielding, and base running. Each session, led by veteran professional players, will last from 9 until noon with lunch to follow. Choose from June 19th to 21st or July 24th to 26th. So learn what it takes to succeed on the field and off. Call the Barnstormers office at 717-509-HITS or go to LancasterBarnstormers.com. Space is limited. Act now.
Introducing the all-new Lexus RX 350L, designed for room. Room for a power-folding third row. Room for up to 7. And room for the unexpected. The 3-row RXL. It's the RX with room for more. Experience the innovative RXL and RXL Hybrid. See Bobby Rahal Lexus in Mechanicsburg.
RX 450HL arriving spring 2018.
The Long Island Ducks ended the night 1 for 15 with runners in scoring position. It's tough to win ball games, and they didn't do so. The Barnstormers, 3 runs, 9 hits, 2 errors, 7 left. And for Long Island, 1 run on 10 hits with 1 error and 13 runners left on base. Scott Schumann the win. He's 2-0. The loss to Jake Fisher. He drops to 3-2. A quality start, though, for Fisher along the way. The save to Matt Reynolds, his 13th of the season. We did not see a home run in the ball game tonight. It took 3 hours, 2 minutes to complete, 6,748 here at Clipper Magazine Stadium, second biggest attendance figure of this 2018 season. Matt Reynolds holds on through a scary 9th inning. Part of the reason that the Long Island Ducks only scored 1 run tonight is that despite the fact that Valdespin and Bonifacio combined to reach base 9 times, the guys behind them didn't do much. And it was the dynamic duo at the top of the order left on base time and time again throughout the game, including in that top half of the 9th inning. We'll have the wrap-up show coming your way next right here on the Lancaster Barnstormers YouTube channel.
Like craft beers, local wines? Well, the best place to be in Lancaster then is Clipper Magazine Stadium. That's right, all new for 2018 is the Broken Bat deck down the right field line. The Broken Bat will feature more than 20 local craft breweries and product from 2 local wineries. If something with a little more kick is your adult beverage of choice, a local distillery is part of the Broken Bat as well. Food will be sold off a pub-style menu, so get together, hang out with your friends, make some new ones, and enjoy a night of craft beer sampling along with a Barnstormers game.
AMT Concerts presents Rock at the Park Festival, Saturday, July 21st, featuring sets from Fuel, Eve 6, Sister Hazel, Long Beach Dub All-Stars, Fastball, and more. Rock at the Park, Saturday, July 21st at Clipper Magazine Stadium, Lancaster. Tickets on sale now at rockatthepark.com.
For the Lancaster Barnstormers this evening, an intense 3-1 victory over the Long Island Ducks, along with Andrew Mossbrooks, Dave Collins back with you from Clipper Magazine Stadium. And these 2 clubs went a long way before this game was decided, and both clubs had opportunities, especially early, to bust this game open. Neither ball club able to come up with a big hit until the Barnstormers struck for 2 in the bottom of the 8th inning. This night started, maybe it should have been a tip-off. Long Island loaded the bases in the first inning with nobody out. Valdespin singled, Bonifacio singled, Snyder was hit by a pitch and eventually had to leave the game. Jonathan Albaladejo worked his way out of that jam without giving up a run. The Barnstormers only sent 3 men to the plate in the bottom of the inning. Then you turn the page, get to the second. Albaladeo retires the first 2 batters, and then the Ducks get to him for a run. Dan Lyons aboard on an infield base hit, and then Valdespin and Bonifacio again, but this time backing up. A base hit by Lyons. Bonifacio single in the left center, producing a run. The Ducks went up 1-0 and would not score again despite all of the threats. In the bottom of the second, Casey Hobson led off with a ringing single. It skipped all the way to the wall out in right field. Trayvon Robinson followed with a base hit to right center. Nate Coronado lined to the second baseman. Vladimir Frias ripped a double. It skipped just over the glove of Cody Puckett and down the left field line. That tied the game at 1. The Barnstormers, however, left the runners at second and third and could not score again that inning. And on we went. Back and forth, chances to score, nothing developing. The Ducks left the bases loaded again in the fourth. They would eventually leave 13 men on. The Barnstormers, for a significant stretch in the middle of the game, completely shut down by Jake Fisher. He retired 9 in a row going into the 8th inning. Who broke it up? Blake Galen. Galen going the other way. A flared base hit over the top of the third baseman Puckett, and he would eventually score on the 2-out RBI single by Trayvon Robinson. Along the way, Galen with an early break toward third base. Jake Fisher spun and threw behind him, and it opened the door for Galen to be able to get into third safely, even though it took the throw getting away from Cody Puckett for that to happen. Robinson came through with a single into center. Nate Coronado greeted Dennis O'Grady with a long triple to the gap in right center. The Barnstormers went up 3-1. But Matt Reynolds had to face Valdespin and Bonifacio. He didn't get either one. To start off the top of the 9th inning, the game was jeopardized. Then Taylor Ard stood at the plate, fouling off pitch after pitch after pitch, working the count to 3-2. Reynolds finally struck him out. Lou Ford goes 0 for 5, but not after giving us a scare. Flying out just ahead of the warning track out in left field for the second out. David Washington goes down on strikes. Reynolds is able to save it for the Lancaster Barnstormers tonight. Great job all the way around by the Barnstormers bullpen. Lakin gave up back-to-back singles to start the 6th. He got out of that. Pitched a perfect 7th inning. Scott Schumann wiped the side out in the 8th. Reynolds gets through that dicey 9th inning with the 2 big strikeouts at the end. This was a huge win for the Lancaster Barnstormers.
Suffice to say, when you're a pitcher in baseball, you're in the most stressful position in the game, and you have to come through in clutch situations, and that's what all 4 of these guys had to do. Jonathan Albaladejo, Jared Lakin, Scott Schumann, and Matt Reynolds, because they all had situations. Really, Schumann was the only one that dazzled his way. He struck out the side. But if you look aside from that, Lakin had base runners, Reynolds had base runners. Albaladejo had 2 situations in which the bases were loaded. He was able to come through. I said this, I couldn't help but think that song title, Flirtin' with Disaster. It's an 80s song. You may have heard of it before, but it's just one of those songs where it encompasses what today was. I mean, you have that many runners left on, 13 guys. We talked about that. The 2 bases loaded situations, multiple times in which there were 2 runners on. And for Long Island to only come up with 1 run, you can take it in 2 ways. You can say, on one hand, how could they have not came through more than just once? But on the other hand, you tip your cap to the Barnstormers, their defense, their pitching. This is a discipline win. It's not a recipe for success. You don't want to do it every time, but it's a great way to keep a win and keep a 1.5-game lead on the second-place Skeeters.
It's a recipe for a coronary is what it is.
The
3-1 win in the books for the Lancaster Barnstormers here this evening. And if you're trying to pick a player of the game for the Barnstormers, that is a tough call.
Yeah.
Blake Galen, for the 18th straight game, was involved in a run. He got that 8th inning rally started. Trayvon Robinson had the big hit. But what about Nate Coronado? He hit the ball well all night long, had that triple that extended the lead in the bottom of the 8th inning. Coronado goes 2 for 4 in the game, but also makes that great backhanded play in the second inning against Cody Puckett to keep the Ducks from getting something started earlier in that second inning. So you've got a lot of different ways to go if you're looking for the Barnstormers hero tonight, but you also have to go back to Trayvon Robinson.
Yeah.
He does it again
Trayvon Robin
in the late innings. Or Rally Time Robinson, as Eric May likes to call him. on our BRC 11 telecast. Trayvon delivers again, driving in the winning run in the late innings. 3-1 Barnstormers here tonight. Elsewhere, Sugar Land has defeated York. 7-3 was the final at Peoples Bank Park. The Barnstormers really could use the Revs to win 2 of their last 4 against Sugar Land, all played in York, as Sugar Land will come back there after the week-long series against the Barnstormers. The red-hot New Britain Bees win again tonight, 5-4 over the Road Warriors. Southern Maryland leads Somerset by a score of 5-4 in the top of the 9th inning. We'll get back to that in a little bit. But now you're looking at a situation developing here. Don't count New Britain out of this Liberty Division race. York is pretty much buried on our side.
Sure.
The
Southern Maryland, same thing.
Southern Maryland's out. The Road Warriors are out. And the low total for wins in the Freedom Division for the champion would be 36, with York, with the Barnstormers playing Sugar Land 7 times. So York is pretty much out of it at 26-25. They would almost have to run the table and still get a lot of help and have things break absolutely perfectly as far as teams beating the Barnstormers. They can take care of Sugar Land themselves. But getting back to New Britain, the Bees are 26-27. If Somerset should happen to lose tonight, the Bees all of a sudden would be just 4 behind Somerset, and New Britain plays Long Island again.
Right.
I don't think they play Somerset again. I would have to check the schedule. But the Bees certainly playing catch-up in the Liberty Division race. They're the hottest team in the league. They have won 8 out of their last 11, 3 in a row. And the New Britain Bees, with Wally Backman at the helm, within 1 game of 500 in the Liberty Division. We'll get back to that Southern Maryland game. Do you have an update on the Major League scoreboard, or is your ability to reach the internet still in trouble? If not, I'll
computer's out, phone's good. So I do have it for you, Dave. All 30 MLB teams in action today and tonight. The Rangers, a 9-6 win over the Minnesota Twins today. The A's over the White Sox, 7-6. Marlins have been surprising. They're getting slightly better. They've won 6 of their last 11. I know I say slightly. Seriously, that's an improvement for them. 6-2 over the Rockies. Giants 5-3 win over the San Diego Padres. The Arizona Diamondbacks, an easier time tonight, putting away the Pirates with a 7-2 win. They took 13 innings to do that last night. Phillies in the National League East, a 5-3 win over the Nationals. That is their 4th win in a row, their 4th series win in a row. They also are now a game and a half back of first after the Braves drop a 7-5 decision to the lowly Baltimore Orioles. They pick up their first series win in the month of June, due the O's. The Yankees, a surprise power outage. They lost 2-1 to the Rays last night, 4-0 today. The Cincinnati Reds have won 8 of their last 10. They take an 11-2 decision convincingly over the Chicago Cubs. Cardinals over the Brewers 3-2 in a continuous battle for the NL Central lead. Meanwhile, in the AL, the Indians a 4-1 win over the Detroit Tigers. The Mariners are currently up 7-0 against the Boston Red Sox. That is surprising. It took the Red Sox 13 runs to beat the Mariners last night. They have none through 8. And a couple final scores here. Dodgers 8-2. Excuse me, not final, but continuous. Bottom of the 8th, Dodgers up 8-2 over the Mets. The Royals a 3-2 nail-biter with the Astros. That is going into the 9th inning. And it's the top of the 3rd inning in Los Angeles. The Angels are scoreless, hosting the Toronto Blue Jays. That is your MLB scoreboard update.
The Barnstormers win here 3-1. Another nail-biter against the Ducks. 9 games, there's only been 1 of the 9 that has been decided by more than just a teaspoon at the end of the game. And that was Thursday night, 7-3 Lancaster win here. Every other decision by a run or 2. The Barnstormers breaking the tie with the 2 2-out runs in the bottom half of the 8th tonight. That'll bring us to tomorrow. The Barnstormers will wrap up this 4-game series and what seems like a marathon against the Ducks. It'll be the 10th meeting in 3 weeks between these two ball clubs. Nate Reed, 6-1, the league's leading winner, will take the hill for the Barnstormers. Jair Jurgens, the man from the Netherlands Antilles and the one-time Atlanta Brave, 3-3 will go for Long Island here tomorrow afternoon. We'll be on BRC 11. Eric May and I will bring you the game tomorrow at 1 o'clock. So until then, for Joey Greer, who's been doing the official scoring tonight, helps us out here pregame, and for Andrew Mossbrooks and all the cast and crew here at Clipper Magazine Stadium, I'm Dave Collins. Have a great evening, everyone, and we'll see you at the ballpark.
You're totally probably safe to ride on your spare for what, 6, maybe 9 months?
Don't trust the wrong advice. Get the right tires at the right price right away. It's what we've been doing at Jack Williams Tire right here in Pennsylvania since our family started this business back in 1929. Because doing things the right way is just the Williams way. Get the right tires right now at jackwilliams.com.
Lancaster Bible College has been around since 1933, but did you know that they offer degrees in much more than just Bible? LBC offers degrees in criminal justice, business, professional counseling, and more, as well as graduate and seminary degrees in areas like Christian care, chaplaincy, education, and leadership studies. To learn more about LBC and the programs they offer, visit lbc.edu. That's lbc.edu.